Sorry about, like, 5 minutes of starting soon screen. So, welcome back to more Dual Destinies. Just preemptively, a warning. There is a good chance I will not be doing a full-length stream tonight. Just because, like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm not feeling great. But, you know, I'm not feeling horrible. I'm just feeling... I'm feeling the starting of possibly getting sick, and I don't like it. I got rotated. So, you all done investigating the pool already? We had a good look around, but now we're moving on to other areas.
How's the police investigation going? Did you, say for example, find any other suspects besides Orla?
Wouldn't that be fortunate for you if we did? But no, I'm afraid not. And even more unfortunate for you, I'm afraid we found decisive evidence of the Orca's guilt. What? Please tell us more, Detective.
So what is this decisive evidence? Don't hold out on us now, Detective Fulbright.
I'm very sorry, but I can't share classified information with the defense. Especially not security footage that shows the moment the Orca attacked the victim. Yup, I'm to personally see to it that this baby stays safe. It will never leave my side. Excuse me, but there's a call for you, Detective. I'll be right there. Sorry guys, you know how it is.
Well, he never said that he wouldn't leave its side, I guess. Now let's sneak a peek. What the?
Is this supposed to be the moment Orla attacked the victim?
This little bit of footage doesn't prove anything.
I agree. I believe in Orla and Sasha. Let's continue with our investigation.
Good idea. Huh? There's a sticker on this camera that says, "Return to the pub, oh danger."
Yeah, somebody there manages the cameras. Let's go check it out later. Sorry about that. Prosecutor Blackwell called to remind me to go feed Taka. So, where were we? Oh, that's right. You two got any more questions for me? No, we're good. Thank you for leaking all your info.
This looks like one of those hands-on exhibits. It has a real air of danger, don't you think?
Well, the banner does say Pubbo Danger.
Let's see. According to the description, this room is a pub where pirates gather, explore and interact with sea creatures. Actually feel the electricity of electric eels and real piranhas. Experience the terror of the seas with these dangerous experiments.
All those sound like less like terror and more like torture to me. I'd thank you to keep it down there, Blue Boy. I'm conducting an experiment. Oh. This was not the character I thought it was. I thought it was the dude with the penguin mask.
Do not disturb me unless you wish to be zapped with an electric eel.
My apologies, ma'am. Wow, she seems intense.
Excuse me, but who are you? Before you ask others, shouldn't you give your name first? Basic manners, young lady. Oh, yes, of course. My name is... Never mind. I'll simply call you Yellow Girl. It's easier that way. I am Norma de Plume. I'm very interested in Shipshape Aquarium, and I'm a frequent visitor here. But I don't want to be Yellow Girl.
You think I want to be called Blue Boy? Let's just see what she has to say. She reminds me of some other character, but I don't know what other character.
You say you're interested in the aquarium, but you don't look like a staff member. Let's see. I've got it. You're someone completely unrelated to this aquarium.
That's some deductive reasoning there, champ.
I am a visitor, a patron, a customer, a guest. And what might you be? I'm not a what, I'm a lawyer.
Hey, that's what I was going to say. And I run a law office.
Well, whatever you are, I don't have the slightest interest. Just who does she think she is, boss?
A visitor, a patron, a customer, a guest, remember?
I thought they closed the aquarium and weren't letting members of the public in. But I have special permission, you see.
Hey Yuki, how are you doing? And why exactly is that, if I may ask?
Well, because of the incident... Heavens, I've said too much.
I remember this. Psyche-locks, or Psyche-locks, however the fuck I pronounced it before. It hasn't even been a game since we've seen these. These showed up in Apollo Justice.
Huh? Psychedelic rock? Cyborg clocks? What?
I'm doing okay. I'm feeling the start of possibly getting sick. And I'm fighting my damnedest to not let myself get sick, but like... Oh, bitrate. I really don't like the version of the Magatama theme from this game. It's not great. Bitrate. No. Cyclox. It's the power of this Magatama. It gives me the abilities to see the secrets locked away in somebody's heart. If I can remove the locks, I can uncover their secrets.
I didn't know you had a magical item like that.
Looks like this lady knows something about what happened. I'll just use my Magatama and undo her Cyclox. Huh? Can't see the locks anymore.
Huh? The color of that stone looks different from before.
That's funny. Maybe it's just out of juice?
It can do that?
Yeah, a certain girl I know poured her spiritual power into it for me. Without that power, I can't undo the Cyclox.
No way. Why do I have to keep quiet about it anyway? I've never been any good at keeping secrets. But I did promise after all, so I guess I had better keep my mouth shut.
Who did you promise what to?
No comment. Now go away.
Just when I thought we could find out more about the case.
Let's go try to find some other way. I'm sure we'll find something.
Can't examine here, can we? Hey, want to see a dead body?
I have no interest in looking at meaningless trifles. As a matter of fact, I have no interest in looking at you, Blue Boy.
What, so now I'm a meaningless trifle too?
A swashbuckler flyer. I've had more than enough of those lately. Do you have any idea how many times I've visited this aquarium?
Hey, what are you yelling at me for? Don't you ever get tired of coming here?
You obviously don't know anything about Shipshape Aquarium. They feature different marine creatures each month, so visitors never get bored. So you're a fan of Shipshape Aquarium like me? Oh, please. I'm here to gather information. The fundamental work of a great writer. Yeah. Wow, brain. The fundamental work of a great writer. But I don't suppose that's something you common folk would understand. That woman makes me so mad. Wow, why am I tripping over my words so much?
Now, why don't we common folk just get back to our investigation?
Don't thrust that under my nose. I won't watch it.
You usually pretty photogenic, Mr. Plume?
Of course I am. I've been compared to a movie star. It's little wonder with my perfect makeup and stylish figure. Wouldn't you agree?
Wants me to agree? Let's get a woman's opinion on this one.
What? You're asking me? Well, let's see. I do think you're very pretty, Mr. Plume. I get the distinct impression your words are full of hidden meaning. Well, I wouldn't say full so much as full-figured.
Athena, I'd stop right there if I were you.
Sorry. Sea creatures are the only things I know anything about.
That's alright, don't worry about it. Gee, I didn't mean to put her in a funk.
Hey, Detective Fulbright's gone. It looks like the police investigation is over too.
That's too bad. I was hoping to get a little more out of him. God. Oh. Searching over and like this be a bad dream. Oh god, is he a rapper? Yeah, he is. Cleaner. Let's see. Yo, yo, yo. Cleaner, nuh-uh, feeder, that's right. Yo, girl, why you hiding from me? I'm searching all around like this be a bad dream. God, I hate. He's gonna have to testify, isn't he? Is that somebody rapping? Rifle, yo, sometimes you make me so mad. Stop auto-scrolling your text. I'm going to fucking kill you. Hey, Banana, how are you doing? Times you make me so mad. Now that you're gone, I'm just so sad. Yo, Rifle, just come back to me. We can be together and sing creak, creak, creak. God, you don't have good rhymes, buddy. What's with this guy rapping and making strange bird sounds? Yikes, who's there? You didn't hear me rapping, did you? Why does this guy look... This guy has, like, 0 muscle on his body. Doing good, just got out of the shower. Nice. Yeah, well, maybe. Ugh, look, just do me a favor and pretend you didn't hear nothing. Fine by us. And who might you be? I'm Marlon Rhymes, an animal keeper here. The aquarium's already closed today. At least, I'm pretty sure it is.
Pretty sure. You don't sound too certain. Oh, are you new here or something?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Pretty good guess. These two voices are way too similar. I need to figure out what I want to do for this guy's voice, but I have no fucking idea. You know what? Apollo's not here. We're gonna pass the Apollo voice on to him. So, who are you guys? I'm Phoenix Wright.
And I'm Athena Sykes. We're lawyers, and we're going to represent Orla by taking her case to court and proving she's innocent.
Are you serious? You want to defend an orca in court? Oh, but if you're here for Orla, that must make you friends with Sasha's. Sorry if I came across rude. Sounds like he's friends with Sasha. Yeah, should I give him the pain voice? We could give him the pain voice.
Sometimes when I'm by myself, I like to rap to pass the time.
This isn't quite the pain voice, but eh.
Especially when I'm around the animals I love.
Oh, I love animals too, especially marine creatures like dolphins.
I like marine creatures too. Just the ones you can eat.
Yeah, well, people who like animals are good people.
That's what I always say. If there's anything I can do for you too, just say the word. Can you stop dropping fish or pellets or whatever it is you're dropping on the floor?
I started working her though, so I don't know how much help I can be.
Mr. Rhyme seems pretty friendly.
Yeah, friendly and agreeable. He's got a very, like, deer in the headlights look to him, doesn't he? Like, the fact that you can see, like, look at his chest. His chest makes it look like he hasn't eaten, like, he looks like he hasn't eaten in, like, a month. He's so scrawny. I think the thing that's, like, making me be like, wow, this man is, like, malnourished, is that, like, you can see, like, his bones through his skin.
So, what exactly do you do here as an animal keeper?
Mainly I clean the place and feed the animals. Wiping those glass takes forever.
Oh god. He has that scurvy dog build. I can imagine. This tunnel alone must take most of the day.
I also prep the food the animals eat. That's the hardest part of all.
You mean it's really difficult to get the hang of?
I mean, I'm a vegetarian, so cutting fish and meat and stuff creeps me out.
There's something I never expected to hear from a pirate. Do you know anything about the incident that took place this morning?
Yeah, one of our guests saw what happened and started screaming. I came running, but by the time I got there, I couldn't see the orca or the captain.
This is just a fucked up Phoenix voice. It's not the pain voice at all, no. This is just a fucked up sounding Phoenix voice.
And speaking of the captain, what was he like?
Like a strong captain who can turn a wild bunch of ruffians into some great pirates.
Vegetarians don't look like that, Ace Attorney. This is like... This is like the stereotype that you get about vegetarians. Like, this is like what happens because, like, you know, one of the main issues that like vegetarians run into is like if you're not eating meat, you have to substitute protein with, like, you have to get your protein intake somehow. This guy looks like the issue of, like, he hasn't had any protein. Like, he doesn't have any sort of, like, protein supplement that adds to his meals. You know what I mean? Like, I am very much not a vegetarian, but, like, I have friends who are. Like a strong captain who can turn a wild bunch of ruffians into some great pirates. He always treated us fairly and equally. Human and fishes alike. A real deal, man. Hey, what are you crying for?
I'm not crying. It's just, I can feel your heart crying. That's all.
Girl, what you talking about? I'm not crying either. So I won't mention that his eyes are puffier than a pair of pufferfish. Vet Sasha and our vet Dr. Crab are even more upset by his death. What? This aquarium? What? This aquarium has a resident vet? Yeah, hold up. I haven't seen Dr. Crab this morning. Staff are supposed to stay put. Night shift has been on duty since last night, but they won't let us go home. Sasha even had to get special permission to go out looking for a lawyer this morning. Yeah, it's definitely not, like, you know, impossible to get protein in a vegetarian diet. There are other sources of protein other than meat. Like, if I'm not mistaken, beans are a good source of protein. Because, you use, like, I'm pretty sure it's beans. Because tofu can help with protein intake, and tofu is made out of beans.
We haven't seen anyone who looks like a vet. Were you rapping something about looking for a weapon earlier? A rifle or something?
I didn't even get to see that because the text was auto-scrolling. Peas are good as well. Ah. No, not a weapon. Rifle's the name of one of our penguins.
Penguin? Why would you name a penguin something like that?
Stop. I'm going to hate this man forever. I'm gonna hate this man forever. Stop scrolling the text automatically. I'm going to kill you. I have less patience for this today because I'm starting to get sick and I don't. Stop rapping, please. Prepare for the battle, go for the war. Little lady rifle gonna even the score. I think you can escape with your pride? No, you just gotta be straight up denied it. You don't even have good rhymes, buddy, and your name is literally rhymes. Anyway, that's what she's like, so we named her Rifle. Okay, but did you have to rap it? That's just how I roll. Jail, immediately. Eminem, this man is not.
Does Rifle wear a backpack by any chance?
Yeah, that's the one. So you seen her, huh? I was running away. Such a good runner, we decided to put her to work delivering flyers. Do you really want a dangerous penguin like that running loose? Rival's not dangerous. She only attacks people she doesn't like.
When we ran into her earlier, she didn't attack us. She just straight up ignored us, actually.
Hey, I have an idea. You run into Rifle again. Would you mind feeding her for me? You didn't come back to the pool at feeding time like usual. I've been looking for her. She loves the smell of fish, so she might come over to you if you have some.
Oh, I would love to feed a penguin. That'd be okay, right, boss?
I don't mind, as long as you carry the fish. We just...
P.U. It smells so fishy.
Really? What a shocker. Oh yeah. Besides Rifle, I've been looking for Small Fry too. Small Fry? That another penguin? Nah, she's a friend I made. High school girl. She went off looking for Rifle somewhere and hasn't been back. Oh shit, I forgot about this part actually.
Is she your girlfriend?
What? Nah, no way. Sasha's the one I...
So you like Miss Buckler, do you?
Well, I really respect her, you know? We have different tastes in music, but I admire the way she lives her life. It's not like I like her, it's more complicated than that. I'm pretty sure that all adds up to like. She tries to put on a brave face. But I think the captain's death has hit her hardest of all. After all, it was her human show partner that got killed by that orca.
So, you think Orla really did it?
That wasn't your voice. Well, I can understand how Sasha feels. She's the only one of us who doesn't think the orca did it.
Oh, I see.
Guess it isn't easy to believe in somebody who can't even speak up for herself. Yo, Phoenix, I'm gay, you dig? Anyway, let me know if you see Rifle or Small Fry, okay? Small Fry said she was gonna check the orca pool. Maybe we'll head back there then. It's time. Huh? Something on the left side of the pool that wasn't there before. This looks like an electronic sword.
Hey, you're back.
Hi, Sasha. What's with the strange sword here?
Oh, that's a walkie-talkie. It's probably Rifle's. Rifle can use a walkie-talkie? And she's always running away, so we attached a walkie-talkie to her. If we can hear the sounds around here, we can usually guess where she is.
Not if she drops the walkie-talkie on the floor.
Every member of the crew has one too, so we can communicate back and forth. We can even use them to broadcast to specific parts of the aquarium. Cool, huh?
Good to know.
Well, if Rifle's walkie-talkie is here, then Rifle might still be here too. Rifle, come out, wherever you are. Are you okay? You have to be careful around pools, you might slip right in. I'm more afraid of my heart jumping right out.
Hey, who's that riding on Orla? Isn't that Rifle?
Hey, you're right. Come here, Rifle. Aw, she ignored me again. Why doesn't that penguin like me? Ugh.
Now you've scared Rifle away with all that yelling.
Well, I'm not giving up. I'll make that penguin like me if it's the last thing I do.
Hey, get back here, you little pipsqueak! Oh, sorry, Rifle, but at least you seem all right.
What is this audio compression? There she is!
Oh.
It's Pearls! Hey, it's Pearls?
Oh, Mr. Nick, I haven't seen you in ages.
Could Pearls be the small fry Mr. Rhymes was talking about? Athena runs up to Rifle screaming, "Love me." Yeah. They very clearly did not re-record that audio at all. That is 100% 3DS compression that was happening to that cutscene. Could Pearls be the small fry Mr. Rhymes was talking about?
Congratulations on your return to lawyering. I've been thinking about stopping by your office for a visit to congratulate you.
This is Pearl Fay.
I call her Pearls. You may dress a little funny. But that's because she's a spirit medium. A real prodigy with great power at that. I've known her since she was little, and she sometimes comes to the office to visit. She's just a little older than Trucy, so she's like a big sister to her.
I guess everyone here knows Mr. Nick then. He's such a nice guy, don't you think?
She trying to be my big sister now, too? What are you doing here, Pearls?
My summer camp is here on a field trip. I've never been to such a big aquarium before, so I was really looking forward to it. But then that incident happened, and the police just finished questioning me.
Oh, I see.
Mr. Nick, who's the lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes. I'm a new lawyer at the Write Anything agency. Oh, how do you do? My name is Pearl Faye. My cousin and my friends call me Pearly. Pearly it is then. Nice to meet you. So, how did the two of you meet?
Well, you know how I used to travel to Europe to study their legal systems, Pearls? I met Athena on one of those trips. I'm curious, how old is Pearl? 17? Wow. That's really weird, because, how many years does that make it? She's like 8 in Trials and Tribulations, or not Trials and Tribulations, Justice for All. No, her name, I forget what it is. If I'm not mistaken, because the whole deal with her family is explained in the original trilogy. Her mom is Morgan Faye, and if I'm not mistaken, Pearl is like I'm probably crossing my wires here. I might be thinking of her Japanese name actually, but I think if I'm not mistaken, Pearl, like Pearl Faye, is like Morgan Le Fay's like bastard child in like folklore or legend or whatever. I think it's literally just played straight if I'm not mistaken.
So, tell me more about how the two of you met in Europe.
Hey, I thought I was supposed to be asking the questions here.
A long time ago, Mr. Wright helped me out of a difficult jam. We're not gonna actually explain that to anyone, because, nah. But that's when I started thinking about becoming a lawyer like him. So, you're like her mentor, huh, Mr. Nick?
Yeah, something like that, I guess.
Mr. Wright is the whole reason I am who I am today. He's the one who told me my knowledge of psychology could help people in court. Gee, Mr. Nick, it looks like you've become a real adult since the last time I saw you.
I've always been an adult the entire time I've known you, Pearls.
What would you look at that? Rifle loves you.
Sure does seem to be attracted to Pearls.
I'm so glad she likes me. Penguins are so adorable, aren't they?
Yeah, but penguins also smell horrible, apparently.
I even brought myself a little penguin calendar here at the aquarium gift shop. I have it hanging from my bag already. Oh, how cute. A calendar in the shape of a penguin.
Wait, I just realized Athena is only a year older than Pearls. That's really weird to think about. And Pearls is a year older than Trucy.
That's really weird to think about.
That calendar's a real hit with all our female visitors. I even have one myself. But the rest of the staff thinks it's too cutesy.
Guess it doesn't really fit the whole rough and tumble pirate image very well. Pearl looks way younger than 17. Well, the thing you have to remember is that with Pearl's design, this design is almost unchanged from her original trilogy design. Like, she's still wearing the same clothes. She's got very similar hair. She's basically just taller and has less forehead. Why does this calendar smell kind of like fish?
What do you mean, Mr. Nick? Please don't be rude.
Yeah, the main, if I'm not mistaken, like, Pearl's main difference, if I'm not mistaken, is basically she's taller because she was super short in the original, and if I'm not mistaken, the part of her hair that has the bead in it, like on her left side, on the right side of her model, but I don't believe that she has that in her original version, but I might just be mistaken about that. Uh-oh, I got Pearls mad. So, you're looking for Rifle too?
That's right. I was trying to help Mr. Marlin, the animal keeper. Come here, Rifle. Come on.
Went toward Orla instead.
Why can't I get Rifle to like me?
Maybe you should quit chasing after her with that scowl of yours.
Mr. Nick, how could you speak to a lady so rudely?
Uh-oh, I got Pearls mad again. Why don't you try to get Rifle to take some food from you?
Oh, great idea. And I have just the thing to present to her, too. Rifle, I have a present for you. It's chock full of love. Here you go. Hey, Orla ate my love-filled fish. At least it looked like she enjoyed it, though. I think Orla and I just had a bonding moment. Friendship blossoming with the exchange of some food. Oh, isn't it moving, Mr. Nick?
I think moving might be going a bit far. Anyway, how did you get Rifle to come to you so easily, Pearls? I heard Rifle was attracted to the smell of fish.
Mr. Nick, are you saying I smell like fish?
Maybe just a little, yes.
I guess I need to change my clothes.
That's odd. I wonder why Pearl smells like she's holding a bucket of fish.
Orla doesn't usually want to eat at this time of day. And we've even been giving her more food than normal at her regular meal times lately.
Why do I still have the fish?
You be giving me a fish, and so you be challenging me to a fight. R.
What? No. What kind of rule is that?
That's how it goes in the Swashbuckler Spectacular. Present a fish, start fighting. The gauntlet, I mean the fish, is thrown down, and the glorious battle begins. Oh, you're so cool when you're up there jumping and slashing. R. Belay that talk, little lassie. Compliments will get ye not. Oh, you sound just like a real pirate.
Ina just eats this stuff up.
Man, we've got basically all of my vocal range here. Is there something wrong with Orla's feeding habits lately?
Yeah, something's weird. The new guy Marlin feeds all the other animals besides Orla. But the captain and I, her trainer, are responsible for feeding Orla. It was the captain's turn to feed Orla this morning. But Orla keeps coming to me and signaling that she's still hungry. She wants my fish, chocked filled with love.
How long are you gonna keep saying that? Sure is excited to make a new friend.
But I don't think the captain would have forgotten to feed Orla. Rifle and that big creature there certainly seem to love each other. This is Orla the orca. Rifle and Orla are best friends. They belong together like a clownfish and a sea anemone.
Care to phrase that in a way as non-biology majors can understand? Haven't you seen Finding Nemo, Phoenix?
Oh, so this orca is the suspect. I read in a book once that orcas eat penguins.
They also eat seals.
Don't you worry about that. Orla here's really gentle, and she never eats anything but fish. She's an old sweetheart. As a matter of fact, she even tolerates Rifle picking on her.
It's true, she does seem very gentle. She hardly seems like a killer whale.
As lawyers, we have to do everything we can to save this beautiful, gentle creature. Wow, you're going to defend her in court? She's quite the defendant, isn't she?
She's the biggest defendant we've ever had, literally. Oh, Pearls, I have a big favor to ask.
What is it, Mr. Nick?
It's about my Magatama. Its spiritual power seems to have vanished.
Oh, that Magatama brings back memories. I remember pouring my spiritual power into it. That was so many years ago. I guess that's why it's almost out now. There you go, Mr. Nick. It should be fine now.
Thank you, Pearls. Now I can break Cyclops again.
I'm glad I could help. Well, I think I'll go find Mr. Marlin now. I have to bring Rifle to him. Pearlie sure seems right at home in this aquarium.
You're right. Didn't she say this was her first time here?
Apparently, that girl was in the staff corridor earlier this morning. And that's why the detective was questioning her.
What was Pearls doing in the staff corridor?
I don't know. I thought she was Marlin's friend or something.
Staff corridor, huh? Something about that doesn't sit well with me.
Well, if it bothers you, why don't you just ask her about it?
Yeah, good idea. Let's go catch up with her. Looks like Mr. Rhymes and Pearls are talking. He said based.
It was my pleasure. I didn't hear any of what you were saying because your words weren't making any sense. Plus, you were auto-scrolling the text and Maddie refuses to go back and read it. And see you again sometime, Rifle.
Okay, let's go, Rifle. See you, Small Fry.
Oh, Mr. Nick, I didn't see you there.
It was him, like, saying thank you, basically. Based Small Fry was so clutch with the assist. Rhymes and Rifle reunion, tail ended in bliss. Now an Animal Keeper Rhymes ain't gonna get cut. Mad props, Small Fry. This case is no shut. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Hey, Pearly, you and Mr. Rhymes seem to be really good friends.
Could you tell us more about your relationship?
Well,
Pearls? Why do I see a Cyclock?
I'm sorry, Mr. Nick. But I really shouldn't talk about it.
I don't really feel right about digging into Pearl's affairs. But she was here at the aquarium at the time of the incident. Whatever she's hiding could help us in court. Sorry, Pearls, but I'll have to use my Magatama on you.
Take that!
Man, I like that they brought back Cyclops, but at the same time, they took a lot of, like, the impact away from them, because, like, specifically with the sound effect that they use for the chains, because the chains sound effect in the original trilogy is super, like, jarring, and it's really good. A Cyclock. A lock on a person's heart that only I can see. Deeper the secret is hidden, the more locks there'll be. Pearls only has one lock, so I should be able to undo it fairly easily. But if I make a mistake, I'll be locked in a loop and won't be able to move forward. Okay, time to give it a try. Pearls, you have to tell me about your relationship with Mr. Rhymes.
A relationship? There's no relationship between Marlin and me. We're just a visitor to the aquarium and an animal keeper at the aquarium, that's all.
There are areas where ordinary visitors to the aquarium don't get to go. You were here before the incident occurred, weren't you?
Take that!
Yes, that's right. But how did you know?
Someone told me you were there.
I got confused and went the wrong way. I didn't know it was a corridor just for the staff. But that's all it was, Mr. Nick. It didn't have anything to do with Mr. Marlin.
Sounds reasonable. I guess I'd better move on to my next topic. Actually, there's something else I've been wondering about, Pearls. Why do you smell like fish?
Fish? What makes you think I smell like fish?
Well, there's a certain someone who convinced me it wasn't my imagination.
Take that!
Rifle?
He's apparently very attracted to the smell of fish. Rifle didn't want anything to do with Athena, even though she had a bunch of fish. So why then was Rifle so attracted to you, Pearls?
I don't know.
Looks like she's still not ready to talk about it. You had an object with you that smelled fishy too. In fact, I think this has something to do with your secret.
Take that!
Fishy smelling calendar has something to do with your secret, doesn't it, Pearls?
I can't lie to you, Mr. Nick. I'll tell you about me and Mr. Marlin, and about the calendar.
Ew, it was only low on luck, but it sure took some work. Please tell me about your relationship with Mr. Rhymes.
I became distracted by the gift shop almost as soon as we got to the aquarium. Before I knew it, everyone else had moved on and I got lost. I was so embarrassed to be lost at my age.
Oh, Pearls. I know big crowded places are hard for you.
I sort of panicked and went down the wrong corridor. I ended up in the food prep room, and that's where I met Mr. Marlin. I really startled him when I called out to him. He jumped so much he startled me too, and I lost my balance and fell down. Oh, Mr. Nick, I spilled so many fish all over the floor.
Guess that explains why you smell fishy. Pardon the pun.
Yes, and my calendar fell off my bag and got buried in all the fish too.
It doesn't explain why Pearls wanted to keep it a secret. Why did you want to hide your meeting with Mr. Rhymes?
Well, I didn't want him to get in trouble over the feed sanitation regulations because of me. And Mr. Marlin said he didn't want anyone to know he was in the food prep room.
Huh? Why not? What was he doing in there?
And before I spoke to him, he was staring at a calendar. But because of me, he dropped his calendar too. We had to search for it among the fish. Oh, wait a minute. This calendar of yours, it already has writing in it. It does? But I didn't write anything in it yet.
Gosh, Pearls' voice is gonna kill me.
There's something written here under today's date. Meet the captain at the Orca Pool at 7 a.m. Maybe my calendar and Mr. Marlin's got mixed up.
Pearls, about what time did you run into Mr. Rhymes?
I think it was about 10:15 when he had the info desk announce that I was lost. So I must have first gone into the prep room at about 10:10.
I see. Do you mind if I hang on to this calendar for a while? It might be a clue to the victim's movements before he was killed.
Alright, but be sure to give it back to Mr. Marlin later, okay?
Good. Now maybe I'm ready to remove Mr. Plume's Cyclops too.
You people again. You are becoming quite the nuisance. If that veterinarian won't come out, then I might just have to give up and leave. Veterinarian? Is that the Dr. Krabs Mr. Rhyme was talking about? You are correct. He likes to shut himself up in that back room there and won't come out. But I don't think he's even there today, so I'm about ready to go home.
He sure seems to know a lot about the workings of this aquarium. Maybe a little something about the incident this morning, too.
Mr. Wright, this is no time to be standing here thinking to yourself. It's time to put your psychedelic clock skills to the work and uncover a secret.
That's Cyclock, Athena. Cyclock.
Take that!
Mr. Plume, I want you to tell me the secret you're hiding.
I'll do nothing of the sort. It would mean breaking my promise.
I don't know who you made this promise to, but you will tell me. You're not an aquarium employee, and yet here you are after the place is closed. That must mean you're connected to the incident involving the owner somehow.
I don't know anything about any incident involving the owner.
No, I think you do. I have a piece of evidence here that suggests you do know something. That would be the video, right? Yeah.
Take that!
According to Detective Fulbright, this shows the orca attacking the victim. And the person in this footage is wearing an outfit just like yours, Mr. Plume.
Oh, I suppose there's no hiding this bombshell figure, is there? Yes, it is I.
I think I can guess why you're here at the aquarium. You aren't simply a visitor to the aquarium. What you really are is...
You're a visitor who also happened to witness the death of the owner, Jack Shipley.
That is Oh, I want to say it, but I promised the police.
That's not good for you to keep things inside, you know. I'm sure you'll feel much better once you get it all out.
I give up. I'll tell you everything.
She wanted to tell me this badly. Why couldn't she have just done it so from the top?
I think anyone would agree that I held it in for as long as I could. But I couldn't be expected to withstand this commoner's badgering any longer.
Please calm yourself, Mr. Plume. That's top-class badgering to you.
You're correct. I witnessed the killer whale's crime with my own eyes. You got a problem with that, Blue Boy. Boss, Mr. Plume's anger is so powerful. Even I feel like I'm about to explode. You have to do something quick.
Phoenix Wright would make a killing as a psychiatrist. Yeah. Which is especially, like, Athena as well. Athena, like, she's literally, like, she has a degree in analytical psychology. Please don't explode on me. Could you start with telling me what you saw?
I witnessed the very moment the killer whale attacked the victim. I told the police what I saw as well. I'm the sort of person who simply can't rest until the truth is known.
So Mr. Plume's statement, or both Mr. Plume's statement and the footage point to Orla's guilt.
Pardon me, but you seem pretty pleased that you witnessed this incident. What? Pleased? Shame on you. Are you implying that I'm happy about an innocent man's death? No, of course not. I just don't get the sense that you were afraid of Orla. It's more like you were interested in her. Are you know, I wasn't sure, but I was thinking that maybe. Are you perhaps one of my fans? Is that how you knew? That I'm the nonfiction writer, Norma de Plume. Oh, that Norma de Plume.
So, big fan, huh?
No, I've never even heard of her. Well, now that you've figured me out, there's no sense in trying to hide who I am, I suppose. Talking to fans is part of a writer's duty, after all. But I'm not a fan, I tell you.
So what exactly have you written, Mr. Plume?
Oh my, you mean to say you truly aren't familiar with my work? I write the truth. I take great pride in my craft, you know. I've been gathering information on Orla the killer whale for a year now. I've been very worried about Orla's violent tendencies. And today, my concern was proven to be well justified. Orla isn't violent, she's a sweet and gentle soul.
Thank you for the hydrate banana. Give me a sec.
The moment when you let your guard down with that killer whale, jump. The Ship-Shape Aquarium has always denied the killer whale's violent streak. But it's been rumored to attack people. But rumors are just rumors. They aren't necessarily true. Yes, I realize that. But I only write the truth, and that's why I questioned the owner directly. But he refused to allow my research, and he even had the audacity to say to me, "You are nothing but a nuisance coming here day after day. Don't ever come back again."
Like her research was a bit too much to take.
But then, how did you get in here if you've been blacklisted? I have my methods.
This lady is shameless.
We won't let you speak badly of Orla. We're going to defend her. I'm only stating what I saw with my very own eyes. I came to the aquarium today to observe the killer whale. But on my way to that thing's tank, I heard its cries.
Did she just admit to trespassing? Absolutely. Trespassing, everyone knows that trespassing isn't a crime in Ace Attorney land. Otherwise, Phoenix would have been convicted of trespassing long, long ago.
You can hear Orla from the visitors corridor? There are speakers there in that corridor up near the ceiling. Apparently that speaker is there so visitors can hear the killer whale's sounds. But in any case, as I approached the killer whale's tank, I heard its cries. And when I arrived, I saw something terrifying.
What did you see?
The killer whale stealing the swashbuckler spectacular hat the owner was wearing. And then, the moment it bit him and shook him mercilessly to death with its jaws. What?
Trespassing is a civil right in Ace Attorney, yeah. Orla bit the owner to death? In justice we trust. So I take it Mr. Plume's just finished telling you what she saw? Detective Fulbright. Guess you've already heard it too? Yup, when we took our statement earlier. As you heard, I'm afraid that accidental death is really the only thing it could be.
Yes, and a dangerous creature like that cannot be allowed to harm anyone ever again.
But she's not dangerous. Sorry, but the prosecutor's office said the case didn't have enough merit to go to trial. There was one prosecutor, though, who expressed an interest in the case. Really? Then could we have that prosecutor take a look at the investigation reports? Unfortunately, I doubt even he'd take action without evidence of a homicide. Look, I understand how you feel, Mr. Lawyer, but maybe you should just give up on this one? Not a chance. We'll just re-examine the crime scene and strengthen our case. Well, if that's your version of justice, I won't stop you.
We won't rest until we find proof it wasn't accidental death, Detective. You'll see. Let's go, Mr. Wright. Time to check out that crime scene one more time.
Diploom has both motive and opportunity to murder the captain. Yeah, but it feels too obvious, you know? Which I know that saying a killer in Ace Attorney feels too obvious is like is a stupid thing to say, but like it feels like she's got too many boxes ticked, you know what I mean?
Alright then, let's start the re-examination pronto. I'm going to check out that mess in the back one more time.
Athena, wait, no running.
Ah!
Are you okay? Didn't look like she tripped, but...
I slipped.
Huh? Orla? What is it, girl?
Ah!
Athena, are you alright? She crashed into all that stuff behind her.
I tried to get out of the way, but all I did was slip and fall again.
That was a pretty amazing wipeout. Are you hurt?
I'm okay, but why did Orla spike that ball at me? After all the fish I gave her, I thought she liked me.
Maybe she thought you were the main entree?
Very funny, boss.
In any case, let's give the ball back to Orla.
Huh? It looks like everything got shifted around when I fell on it.
Hey, you're right. There are things now that we couldn't see before. Like another ball. I guess Orla really likes them.
Look, there's something new by the outline of the body, too.
We'd better take a good look around.
Look at all the stuff scattered everywhere. I see some swords. I wonder if they have anything to do with the case.
They're made of rubber. I doubt they could be used as a weapon.
But I still bet if someone got whapped with one, it would sting quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess it would.
But I think I could stand the pain.
Yeah, good for you. Oh look, there's a blow-up dolphin and an anchor too.
Mr. Wright, are you even listening to me? Stop looking at those toys.
Nice. Guess I've been caught red-faced.
Hey, look at this mark on the floor. What do you suppose it is? That's where we stand when we want to play volleyball with Orla.
Volleyball, huh?
Yeah, if we stand there, she'll spike the ball right at us. So when Orla spiked the ball at me earlier, that was one of her tricks? It doesn't mean she hates me? Nah, she wanted to play with you. She loves volleyball. She used to play with the captain all the time. Sasha looks so sad. Okay, time to snap out of it. This is no time to be all dejected and mopey like a blobfish. That's right, time to put on a smile and stay strong, right?
What's a blobfish? Or do I not want to know? What's this? Coin.
Mr. Wright, there's blood on it.
It's Aztec gold. You're right, but it's dried.
Do you think it could be the victims? And what was it doing all the way over here in the first place?
Not sure, but now that we found blood outside the pool, just might help us prove that there's more to this case than just accidental death.
Hey, you're right. Orla certainly can't leave the pool after all.
Speaking of coins, take a look at this. There are a few coins around the body here, too.
You're right, boss. But where did they go? They aren't here anymore. You don't think somebody picked them up, do you?
Looks like we just found that giant octopus prop's missing leg.
Wow. I bet you could get a whole lot of carpaccio? I don't know what that word means. I'm using big words that I don't understand. You could get a whole lot of...
Oh wait, is carpaccio a food? Is carpaccio like, kind of like calamari?
I bet you could get a whole lot of Carpaccio from a giant leg like that. Oh, let's go to the ocean and try to catch a giant octopus of our own.
Yeah, but even if we did catch one, how are you planning to slice it up? Carpaccio?
Kind problem. That's what man invented chainsaws for.
Actually, Athena, I don't think you would like to know what chainsaws were invented for, because it's kind of horrific, actually. Like, it's really interesting, but the history of chainsaws is not made for cutting wood. Well, I doubt we could catch or one that big anywhere near the shore anyway.
The more roadblocks you throw up, the more I want to do it, you know?
Carpaccio?
Oh, I can't wait to get started.
It appeared that Operation Discourage Insanity has backfired. But yeah, fun fact for those of y'all who aren't aware, the chainsaw was originally created to help with childbirth. Yeah. Chainsaws were originally made for medical use. They were used for C-sections, I believe. Which is like, I don't want to think about that, but like it's interesting if nothing else. Not chainsaws in like, you know, the wood cutting sense, but like a very early version of the chainsaw was originally used for helping deliver children. It's much worse than a C-section. Oh wait, it's not a C-section, is it? It's like sawing through your pelvis or some shit like that. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry that this conversation is happening. There's a broken sword here.
The tip of the blade is missing. Guess it just broke off.
And tell me it happened when Athena fell over?
You'd better not be trying to pin the blame on me, boss.
What? No, of course not.
No use trying to hide it. It's written all over your face. Besides, the broken part isn't even here. How could it have been my fault?
I better watch what I think, or I'll get every little thing thrown back in my face. Yeah, that's not pleasant to think about in the slightest.
Oh no, that child is hurt.
What? Call an ambulance. Hey, it's just a dummy.
It is? Oh, I mean, of course it is. I was just testing your response to an emergency.
Well, I guess we just found out that you don't bluff well under pressure.
I guess I'll have to keep practicing then. I wonder what the dummy's for anyway. Oh, that? We use it to train Orla. It's smaller than a human, but it does the job. And some of our tricks can be pretty dangerous, so Orla practices them on the dummy first.
Get the tricks. Those bite marks look pretty dangerous.
And I'm realizing more and more that I don't I don't know how to use I don't know how to use my mod tools. Banana, can you do me a favor and delete that last message that you sent? I could delete it myself, but I don't know how. It's been so long since I've done deleting messages from chat. And I think it requires me to be in mod mode, which I'm not because I'm in broadcaster mode. Yeah, you're not a mod, but you should be able to delete your own messages. Hey Sasha, would you happen to know anything about this coin?
Oh, I guess I missed one. I just finished cleaning up the rest of them.
You picked up all the coins already?
That's right. After the police finished their investigation, they gave me the go-ahead. I haven't found them all yet, though. I'm still missing a few. Well, if they aren't beside the pool, maybe they're...
Wow, your voice got really high-pitched. Can't, I'm on mobile. Yeah, that's fair. I actually genuinely don't know how to toggle mod view on. Nah, you're fine. It's just like... It's just one of those things of like, it's... You know, it's sitting there and I keep like glancing over at chat and catching it out of the corner of my eye and I'm just like, ugh. You know what I mean?
Well, if they aren't beside the pool, maybe they're in the pool. Let's go to that ladder over there and take a peek at the bottom of the pool, boss.
Can't see anything from here. I'll have to take a look when I'm by the ladder. Cool, thank you. Look, I think I see something on the bottom of the pool.
I knew it. Want me to go down and check?
Can't jump in dressed like that. You'll drown under the weight of your clothes.
No, I won't. I'm a pretty good swimmer, you know?
Be that as it may, the pool's really deep. I doubt you could hold your breath that long. Maybe Sasha can?
Phew. Phoenix, look at all these coins I found at the bottom.
Thanks, Sasha. So there really were more of them down there? Or there really were more of them down there, huh?
We seem to be finding them all over. I wonder how many they were, or how many there were altogether. Including the ones I put away, there are 300 of them. They're for the show.
Sounds like they'd be heavy.
About 7 pounds, I'd say. A little lighter than a stringfish. Well, I'd better go put these...
Wow.
I'd better go put these coins away where they belong. So, 7 pounds of coins scattered around the scene. One of them with blood on it. They have to be related to the case.
I wonder how the blood got onto that one coin. Wait a minute. Could it be... Remember how Detective Fulbright said they couldn't find a murder weapon? Well, what if these coins were the weapon?
Huh? How could a little coin kill a grown man?
Well, one coin by itself isn't much of a threat, but 300 coins together could definitely be used as a weapon. All you'd have to do is put them in a bag. If you put 7 pounds of coins in a bag and swung it at somebody, it'd make a pretty formidable blunt instrument, wouldn't it? But explain how blood got on this coin.
I get it. If that bag of coins is the weapon, then we can use it to prove Orla's innocence.
But I don't see anything resembling a coin bag around here.
Maybe the killer took it with him.
Yeah, it would certainly make it look like Orla did it if they did.
You know what I think, Mr. Wright? The bloody coin alone should be enough to prove this might have been a murder.
I agree. It shows the possibility of a human killer rather than Orla.
Yes, this is just what we needed. Let's go show this coin to Detective Fulbright and Mr. Plume right away.
Good idea. Let's just hope they're still at the pub of danger. Once you figure it out, it'll be a money shot, yeah. Oh, you're back. So did you find anything?
Of course he didn't.
Remember, even if you don't succeed, it's the effort that you make that's important. You trying to console me?
Let's show them the evidence we found, the one that points to a human culprit.
Right, because we won't let Orla be put down. Please take a look at this blood-stained coin. As you can see, it very much has blood on it.
Cease and desist at once. What kind of man shows a lady blood?
Ugh, she doesn't have to get so worked up. What are you terrorizing this lady with? Come on now, let's see it. We found this coin beside the orca pool. We did see a large number of coins beside the pool, but not one with blood on it. We just learned that there's 300 of these, weighing about 7 pounds in total. Now, what do you suppose would happen if a person was assaulted with that many coins? What? So you're saying the coins might have been used as some sort of blunt weapon? Blood belongs to the victim, then yes, it's entirely possible. But I wouldn't call it decisive proof that the real culprit was human. You wouldn't? Why not? Because there'd have to be something to put the coins in to make them into a weapon. Without that something, it's just not going to be enough to pass muster. But I will say your theory does seem to warrant further investigation. I'll call the prosecutor's office and ask to reinvestigate from a possible criminal angle. You will? Thank you very much.
I really hope Detective Fulbright can convince them.
Won't believe the answer I got. When I explained your passion for this case and the police's investigation, they said that the prosecutor I mentioned earlier was willing to take this to court. Really? So does that mean a new suspect has emerged? Oh, I'm afraid not. To be frank, Prosecutor Blackwell said he just wants to prove that Orca's guilt in court.
What? It's Prosecutor Blackwell that wants to prosecute Orla?
That's fine, Detective. Thanks for arranging this for us. Well, I must say you're taking this rather calmly. Defending Orla in court was my idea from the start, and I'll do whatever it takes to save her. In that case, I'll do whatever I can. Whatever I can as well to see. I'll do whatever I can as well to see that justice is served. Wow, that sentence was weird. Mr. Plume, will you be a witness for the prosecution?
A trial for a killer whale? I've never heard of such recklessness before in my life. But I will reveal the truth about this killer whale, and then write all about it.
Sounds like a plan. Now, if you'll just come along with me, we have to prepare for tomorrow, and I still have to arrange for an autopsy.
I look forward to tomorrow. Until then, Blue Lawyer and Yellow Fan. I'm not a fan.
Well, at least we managed to get the case to go to trial.
But how in the world do we defend an orca in court anyway?
To be honest, I'm not really sure myself.
Plus, Mr. Plume said that Orla bit the victim. This trial sure isn't going to be easy. But I love a challenge.
Then we ought to be just fine. Guess I should go over to that swashbuckler spectacular you were watching this morning.
Yeah, we can have a formal viewing back at the office.
There's nothing decisive against Orla on the security tape, but that doesn't mean much. I'll just have to find a more concrete way to save Orla on tomorrow's trial, or at tomorrow's trial, or else. So, I was thinking about it more. And I'm starting to think that, maybe what I am feeling is a bit of burnout. And so, I think I might put Dual Destinies on an alternating schedule with something else. I know that I've been talking about this for multiple days at this point, but, I'm thinking I'm going to try to, like, slot, like, an RPG or something in. Because, like, yeah, I've been re-examining it, and I'm just like, my voice has been getting tired, and it's been getting more tired than usual, but I think that's because of the smoke in the air. And I think it might be good for me to put this on an alternating schedule so that I can play something else while working on this. You know what I mean? Yeah, burnout can creep up on you really fast. But yeah, it's definitely not streaming burnout, because it's not like, you know, oh, I struggle to find the motivation to, like, do stream. It's not streaming burnout at all. But I think I'm burnt out on this game. I think I started this game earlier than I should have because I was desperate to figure out what I wanted to stream next. And I was like, I don't want to do another Ocarina of Time randomizer. I should start something new, but at the same time, I don't know what else to start. And then I was like, Dual Destinies, that's it.
Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning. Chipper as ever this morning, I see. But yeah, if I will not be starting something new tomorrow, because tomorrow is, like, you know, tomorrow's like my last stream before, like, the weekend, or before my last stream before my break day. And so I'm thinking I'm going to either stream randomizer of some kind tomorrow or this, and then I will probably either stream this or whatever I end up making my alternating game with this, because I think another part of it is that, like, this game is long. Like, as you can see by the fact that we're 6 parts in and we're only 3 cases in, and we're at trial 1 of 2 of this case.
I'm just thankful we actually get to have a trial for Orla. As a matter of fact, I just ran a few laps around the courthouse to get extra pumped.
I just splashed my face with some water to get the sleep out of my eyes.
Oh, I also queued the swashbuckler video so we can watch it at any time.
Thanks. It might just help our case. I'm thinking I might put it to a poll, actually. Because, see, I don't even think that it's really necessarily going to be a slog, but, the big thing is that, I'm really scared of case 4 and 5 of this game. Because case 4 and 5 are one big case that's mashed together. Kind of. By the way, you have some serious dark circles. Did you stay up late watching this?
What? Me? No, I, just woke up early, that's all.
Granted, from what I remember, case 4 and 5 is a damn good case. But I'm scared because it's going to be long, and I feel like the Great Ace Attorney 1 absolutely demolished my tolerance for long cases that drag. And so I really hope that the pacing is like snappy with it, so that it's like, you know, it keeps a decent pace throughout the thing with new, like, proper new developments instead of just like twist and then untwist and then retwist further, like Turnabout. What is it? The Monstrous Turnabout, I think is what it was called. Unlike that one, as far as I remember, it's pretty snappy with its stuff, but it has been so long since I've seen a playthrough of this game, so
I guess I need to cover him up. I'll get ragged on enough as it is by Prosecutor Blackquill.
Speaking of being pumped, I'm pretty fired up for this trial too. It's been a while.
That explains why your hair is spikier than usual. I mean, look at it. It's all super pokey and prickly and stuff. It's amazing.
That was a compliment, right?
Good luck, Mr. Nick. I'll be cheering you on from the gallery.
Thanks, Pearls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. Well, okay. Slow cases aren't all necessarily bad. It's just cases that do their damnedest to pad. Like, you know, I've always been a big fan of the whole thing of like criticize the media that you love so that you can truly find what you like about it. And one thing that Ace Attorney does a surprising amount is Ace Attorney does a lot of the twist and then untwist stuff, but the Monstrous Turnabout is definitely one of the worst situations with it so far. They also just have a really, padding is universally hated against all genres of media. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm really glad that they moved away from the format of Ace Attorney 1, because Ace Attorney 1, you get one trial that is 1 day, and that is the first Turnabout, which is all one court section, and it is very short. Then you get Turnabout Sisters, which is I believe, no, oh wait, no, Turnabout Sisters is 2 days long, and then every single other case in that game is 3 days long, because the whole, like, canonically in the Ace Attorney universe, like, trials can only last 3 days because it's a nightmare dystopia. But they realized that doing the 3-day, like, setup absolutely tanks the pacing of the first game in the latter half. As good as those cases are, like, their pacing is slow. And so for every subsequent game, there has never been a case that goes above 2 days, to my knowledge. I might be forgetting something, but Great Ace Attorney might have had one that went to 3 trial segments, but I might just be misremembering. Thanks, Pearls. It's been so long, I'm actually a little nervous. Good morning, Mr. Lawyer.
Oh, Mr. Rhymes, you came to watch the trial?
Yeah, Sasha's been back at the aquarium with the orca. I thought I'd better come here to watch for her.
Well, don't you worry. We're going to win this for Orla. Isn't that right, boss?
Right. One unprecedented trial coming right up. But yeah, I hate... it's a pet peeve of mine when people are like, you know, this thing that I like has no flaws, and like anyone who says that this thing has flaws is incorrect. Like, it frustrates me when people view stuff without being able to be like, that part isn't great, and like this part feels padded and all that sort of deal. It frustrates me because like I love it. I've talked about it before on stream. I love pulling like stories and games and stuff apart to see how they work and see what works and what doesn't work, which is part of why I'm working on a I've been working on so many projects lately. If you love something, the flaws are going to be pretty obvious. Yeah. But I've been working on a handful of things, bouncing back and forth. I've been working on the Kingdom Hearts PowerPoint, which like is vaguely related because like Kingdom Hearts is full of crazy shit that I love, and it's also ridiculous. But I'm working on drafting a plot outline for a rewrite of Fire Emblem Awakening to kind of tweak its story a bit, to kind of unbury some of the really cool shit that they introduce in Awakening and then just don't use. Like, one of my favorite bits of random ass Awakening lore that gets dropped in like 2 lines and then never comes back to is that Crom's dad was like a warlord and he like tried to take over the continent. And that sounds like fan fictionizing, but it's not. That is canon to Fire Emblem Awakening, and nobody talks about it. Court is now in session for the trial of Aura Shipley. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Must we waste words on this? Prosecutor Simon Blackwell, known as the Twisted Samurai, is a prosecutor who's also a convicted felon. Yes, thank you for telling the people who skipped straight to this case, Phoenix. They say he never conducts a trial without his loyal hawk Taka by his side. Mr. Wright, it's been quite a while since I've seen you like that. The lawyer image suits you. You look younger somehow. Thank you, Your Honor. And you look young as ever yourself. Well, I have to keep up with you folks after all. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Yeah, so like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do what I was saying earlier, is I'm trying to pull Fire Emblem Awakening apart and then reassemble it with a couple pieces of my own like fan fictionizing added in. Well, it's a handful of pieces, but like tweak it slightly to give you like a different lens and like show off Awakening's good parts, because Sachi and I were kind of having a conversation about this in the Discord earlier. Well, it was like 2 messages, but it was like, you know, Fire Emblem's great. Well, you're not dealing with Fire Emblem Twitter hating on anything that's vaguely anime. And it's like, Fire Emblem Awakening is great, and it's got great bits in it, but it is very... It has flawed execution. You know what I mean? Like, it has good ideas, and I understand why it was written the way that it was, because they wanted to cram as much as they could into this game that they thought was going to be the last game in the series. But it's one of those things where, because they crammed so much into it, they start, like, it's not necessarily that it's even overstuffed. It's just that, well, okay, it is a bit that it's overstuffed. It's because they don't lay out enough necessary details to make everything flow properly. But man, what is it with this game specifically? I'm bringing out the Maddie is going to sit here and rant about writing and media. That's the thing, you found a certain media. The media is good, but the fan base is the worst. Yeah. By the way, has the defendant arrived in court yet? Surely you jest, your baldness. Did you not receive the memo? The defendant, Aura Shipley, is an orca at Shipshape Aquarium. An orca? Mr. Wright? Arrangements for this trial were made only yesterday. Well, I didn't have time to review. But an orca as a defendant? It's patently absurd. Direct your comments to the defense. He is the absurd fellow who insisted on defending the orca in court in the first place. Absurd or not, I will carry out my duty to defend my client. Your duty to defend your crying ant? Don't you mean your crying orca, Mr. Wright? If we are to proceed, we must treat the orca as we would any other defendant. Every soul, be it man or beast, is of equal value. The question is whether that soul is painted black or white. Take Taka, for example. He is as human in spirit as you or I. Real question is, am I in for more pain, as always? Orca or not, I suppose the defendant is still a defendant. And I vow to render my verdict fairly and impartially. With that compliment you gave me before, you get one free mistake before I throw you into the nightmare dimension. Now, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you would. I suppose I can hardly leave it to someone who knew nothing of the defendant. Very well. Listen carefully. The orca murdered the owner of Shipshape Aquarium and the aquarium's orca pool. The orca apparently toyed with the victim mercilessly as he died. Sadistic orca. What a chilling thought. And where exactly is this defendant now? Inside this. A cell phone? Prosecutor Blackwell? What are the devices from Digimon called? Why does this kind of look like one of those? Like the top half of this. Huh. Time marches on, your baldness. With or without us. I borrowed this TV phone from the aquarium, which will allow us to interact with the orca. A TV phone? Very well, the court accepts it into evidence. You can tell that this game was made in Japan. Japan loves their flip phones. That's genuine, by the way. Like, a lot of people in Japan still use flip phones. We will be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. Same, Banana. I've only watched, like, the original series of Digimon, and even then, I think I've only seen the first season. I want to play some of the Digimon games. I've heard that, the Cyber Sleuth duology is really good, but I haven't heard basically anything else about any of the other ones, other than that Digimon World 3 on the PlayStation 1 is bad. I might be crossing my wires with that. But it's one of the Digimon PS1 games I've heard is bad. We will be able to view the defendant in question on this large monitor. Fulbright, prepare for transmission. Ha ha ha! You've got it, Professor Blackquill. We will proceed with the defendant on telecast. That is the orca that stands accused, is it? Ah, she's waving her flipper at us. Maybe she's cheering us on? Hey, Not, how are you doing? Digimon franchise is weird. Yeah. It's also like there are a lot of Digimon that have like slipped into being just furry bait. Bit tired. I don't get the joke with regards to Rena. Not Orca Arena. Man, okay. So, I've been working over at the theater the last couple days. I'm going off on a tangent again. We've made it like 10 lines into court, and I'm going off on a tangent again. I wash dishes, and because I also put the dishes away, I carry a lot of heavy shit while I'm at work over there. And it gives me a good workout, but I think I pulled a muscle in my arm because I like can't lift heavy things with my left arm currently without it hurting a lot. I'm glad you like my tangents, Banana. I feel like my tangents stick out really badly when I'm playing Ace Attorney because the whole game is reading, but I feel like when I'm playing something like Pokemon, I can just go off and just... Speaking of Pokemon, Pokemon might be one of the games on the list, Pokemon X.
Orla, wish Phoenix and Athena luck.
Oh, it's quite cute, isn't it? And this adorable creature is suspected of killing a man.
Orla's really pouring on the charm, right? What? Huh? Where did I get her right from, Mr. Wright? Also, that wasn't quite my voice. My voice is slightly lower than that. Orla's really pouring on the charm, huh?
She is far from cute. She's a violent, reckless animal. That's right. The name's Bobby Fulbright, and I'll take over the explaining from here. Now, if I could direct your attention to this diagram of the crime scene. Following the report of an orca attack, we, the police, raced over to the ship-shape aquarium. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Yeah, that's what... The Japanese name for, Phoenix is also very, very similar, because, the last name of... Phoenix's last name is Naruhodo, which means I see, or I get it. And so it's a good localization of that name pun. There we found the guest who says she saw the orca and the victim from the visitor's corridor. As the witness was watching, the orca suddenly went crazy and attacked the victim. The orca was the only one there. Therefore, no one else could have committed the crime. It's not quite finished, but I have a portion of the autopsy report here. But yeah, it's really weird, like, it's really odd to me that main series Ace Attorney decided to localize, Phoenix's name as Phoenix Wright. And I understand that it was done back in, like, 2001, I think. I actually don't, no, 2001 is when the GBA version of Ace Attorney 1 came out. When did the DS version of Ace Attorney 1 come out in America? I find it really odd that they localized... Actually, maybe it's just because, people are more open to, like, Japanese names now. And, like, Ryunosuke and, Susato being Japanese is very important to the Great Ace Attorney. So, I was like, why didn't they localize Ryunosuke and Naruhodo? But it's like, actually, his name is actually kind of, like, him being Japanese is actually important in that context. I can't imagine the terror of being attacked underwater by such a large creature. What attack it did. Prepare yourself for the grisly details, your baldness. The prosecution moves on to introduce our witness. Right? You got it, Prosecutor Blackwell. In justice we trust. One brave lady whose fine sense of justice compelled her to speak, coming right up.
How dare you make me wait? Don't you know I'm a busy woman? I could have written an entire book for all the time I spent in that lobby.
Prosecutor Blackwell? Well?
I am Norma de Plume. I'm a non-fiction writer.
In justice we trust is very bad when Apollo exists. Yeah. It just means we trust Apollo. We love Polly in this household. But yeah, like, I'm going back off on one of my previous tangents. I absolutely, like, it frustrates me when people, what's the right way to phrase it? Like, it frustrates me how some people treat the sequel trilogy of the Ace Attorney games, where everyone's just like, oh, you know, all the characters are bad and all that, and it's like, no, like, the characters have good parts. It's just that the games don't go into as much detail because it's not as coherent of a trilogy as the original trilogy is. Because they pivoted after the first game and then had to try to course correct. Am I the only one who isn't telepathic here?
Looks like she can read people's words just as well as I can read people's hearts.
Not everything needs to be a competition, Athena. What? Norma de Plume, the great non-fiction writer, Miss Norma de Plume herself. I've read all your works and enjoyed them immensely. Your million seller, The Great Grief of the Great Thief, is one of my favorites.
Oh, are you a fan, Your Honor? I could give you my autograph if you'd like.
Second, I could swear you looked much different in the photos in your book.
Well, I use the ones from 10 years ago in my books so that paparazzi won't harass me.
Yeah, like, I mostly agree with that statement, Banana, but at the same time, there is also the caveat that, like, if a game's good, it's good, no matter if it has connection to the previous games in the series. But at the same time, I also am of the opinion that, in general, like, broadly speaking, very broadly speaking, I prefer stories that have interconnected pieces. And so I like when games have connections with the previous games. Like, and connections with previous games can extremely enhance the experience that you get out of a game. My go-to example is Xenoblade 3. Hands down. Xenoblade 3 is a good game by itself, but with the context of 1 and 2, it is one of the best games in the series. People expected the Ace Attorney second trilogy to be like the first, but it didn't fulfill that expectation. See, and the issue with that is that they... As much as I love Athena, and as much as I love the characters that they introduced in Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, part of the problem with the cohesiveness of the second trilogy is that they started with Apollo Justice, which had very clear ideas about what it wanted to set up. It wanted to set up Phoenix Wright retiring and becoming sort of like a shady mentor figure for Apollo. And Phoenix was just basically supposed to be a side character to Apollo from there on out. And Apollo's version of Maya was supposed to be Trucy Wright, and Clavier was supposed to be Apollo's Edgeworth. But, you know, they've all got stuff flipped on their head. Actually, it wouldn't surprise... As much as I hate to think about it, Phoenix is kind of Apollo's Mia, if that makes sense. And so I could actually totally, like... It kind of feels like they definitely could have geared... They definitely could have geared it toward killing Phoenix Wright in Ace Attorney 5 if they hadn't gone the Dual Destinies route. Well, okay. Shu Takumi didn't want to work on further Ace Attorney games after Ace Attorney 4. He was like, okay, I will write you the start of a story, and y'all can figure out what you want to do with it. And then what they wanted to do with it is take bits and pieces from it, because, you know, as much as people do like to say, oh, Apollo Justice doesn't matter overall, it does. But, and it gets referenced a lot, but it's one of those things where, they kind of reset, after Apollo Justice, they kind of just reset the status quo back to how it was before. And that's the issue, is that they didn't let Apollo have his trilogy. And I think the biggest issue is that the fan reception for Apollo Justice was not great. And I think part of that is because, you know, part of that's because of the change in characters. You're always gonna get that when you, like, do a passing of the torch story. You're always gonna get people that are mad about that. But I think another big part of it is that, Turnabout Trump is really good. Like, genuinely, single best case in the, like, single best first case in the entire series. As far as I've played, anyway. Great Ace Attorney Case 1 is also pretty good, but I like Apollo Justice's Case 1 a bit more. Turnabout Trump is really good. Turnabout Corner is okay. Turnabout Serenade is bad. And then Turnabout Succession is... I personally really like Turnabout Succession. The issue with it is that some people had a really hard time believing that Phoenix presented a single piece of forged evidence and was immediately disbarred due to the fact that Manfred von Karma exists and Damon Gant exists. Because, you know, Manfred von Karma, he forged evidence a million times, and he was still perfectly fine, and he got called out on it by Gregory Edgeworth in the backstory of Ace Attorney 1. And so some people find it really, really hard to believe that Phoenix made one fuck up and it ruined his entire career, while also neglecting to realize that Phoenix is also suspected of helping Zach Gramarye escape the courthouse. He is a prime suspect for that shit. And that is a valid reason for him to be disbarred. I don't know. I like Apollo Justice. I think it's near the bottom end of the like case spectrum. Just because, like, man, Turnabout Cornered is eh. And Turnabout Gas Leak is just bad. Sometimes you gotta ignore your fan base sometimes and do your own thing. Yeah, like, I think they listen to, like, people that hate it don't come to that conclusion from the line of reasoning. It's more like they have a goal and trace everything to that. Yeah. Plus, the other big thing is that you kind of have to actually actively think about it, because the issue is that they don't bring much attention to the fact that they're like, Phoenix, you helped your client escape. Like, they didn't bring it. I think they pointed it out in a single line. And so, like, it's one of those things where the writing of Apollo Justice could do with some work, but it also was definitely just a situation of, you know, people being mean with regards to Apollo as a character. And the other, man, this is just me ranting about Apollo Justice. Also, hi Sachi, how are you doing? The other big thing that a lot of people complain about with Apollo Justice, which I agree with actually, is Apollo gets shafted by his own game at the end. Apollo is barely present for the last case of the game. Like, he is not important in that case. That case is about Phoenix and Kristoff. Anyway, I'll get back to reading the dialogue, but I don't know. I'm really passionate about writing analysis. And so, like, looking at Apollo Justice from a top-down point of view, it's like, okay, I can kind of see why people were a bit iffy on this when it first came out, because its case quality is lower than average. It's got one really high spike at the start, a middle case, a bad case, and then one either really good or really bad case, depending on who you ask.
And so I can kind of see why some people were like, I'm not really feeling this, but turnabout gas leak, exactly.
The judge seems so shocked.
Visual disconnect must really be doing a number on his honor's head.
Could we get started, please? If I find you to be lacking as a judge, you'll see your debut in my books.
Such harsh comments. Really must be the real Norma de Plume.
They set up the Phoenix and Kristoff rivalry in the first case. Yeah. See, I haven't seen Spirit of Justice. Like, I am almost entirely blind to it. I know, like, the basic outline of some of the cases, and I have seen some of the character designs. I know that the DLC case is called Turnabout Time Traveler, and it has to do with time travel bullshit. But I have no idea what the context of that is and, like, how that happened. But, like, if they were to do an Ace Attorney, like, I don't know if they've wrapped up Apollo's quote-unquote character arc, because Apollo hasn't, he's kind of had a character arc, but he's had a character arc that's been cobbled together out of, like, 3 different character arcs is the problem. And so, I don't know if they've finished Apollo's character arc in Ace Attorney 6, but I think that a really cool, like, I know that I pitched the idea of, like, returning prosecutors and all that, and having another Clavier Apollo game would be really cool. But, one thing that I would really like is have a game, like, make an Athena Sykes Ace Attorney. Give Athena a sidekick to run around with. And have Phoenix be her mentor figure throughout that game. Like, you know, Phoenix has been a lawyer for 2 decades at this point. Well, okay, 7 of those years he wasn't technically a lawyer, but he was technically working on a case for those 7 years. But, like, kill Phoenix. See, here's the thing. I feel like in a what-if scenario that would work really well, but I don't think that would go over well at all. And I don't necessarily think that it would be a... See, here's the issue. It's not necessarily a bad decision, but it's also not really a good decision either. Because, yeah, the issue with if you wanted to kill Phoenix is that there is almost no way that you could kill Phoenix Wright in this, like, in the current state of the series without it being fridging. Because it would be Phoenix dying for Apollo and Athena and Trucy's character development, and that would be it. Who knew Mr. DePlume, or Miss DePlume was so famous?
Phoenix, don't misgender her.
Enough jabbering. Tell the court what you saw and keep it brief.
I would thank you not to order me around. I am perfectly willing to tell everyone what I witnessed. It was the moment of the murder.
Very well then, please proceed with your testimony.
For some reason, there's something about Norma de Plume that looks like, a pilot to me.
I went to Shipshape Aquarium to see the killer whale. As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy. I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth.
The other thing is that, like, it's kind of been established in canon that Phoenix is damn near indestructible.
Attempting to remain calm, I reported the incident to the police immediately.
That adorable defendant really did all that. Must be much more vicious than it looks. Now, deliver your judgment so I may carry out the sentence.
Objection!
You see, here's the thing. Man, we're tangent night. Here's the thing. Phoenix's issue. This might be a controversial, like, statement. Phoenix's issue during the sequel trilogy is less about what's the right way to phrase it? His whole deal during the sequel trilogy kind of is just like, hey, I'm a lawyer again, let's continue doing my lawyer stuff. And the issue with that is that Phoenix doesn't really acknowledge where he was at mentally during the events of Apollo Justice. And so I feel like if they want to keep Phoenix in these main games, they should have, like, I know that people are sick of the whole Phoenix forging evidence, like, Dark Age of the Law bullshit, but, like, if you, like, you need to give Phoenix an arc, is what I'm saying, because Phoenix didn't have an arc in Apollo Justice. Phoenix's arc, in quotation marks, was him being a static character. He was there being sneaky and a goober, and that's about it. Like, that is what Phoenix Wright was doing. He's also, like, a master strategist in Ace Attorney 4. But, like, I feel like it's really weird because feel like you're walking on eggshells coming back into Lauren. Yeah, exactly. Like, there is a lot of legitimate character drama you could do with Phoenix being like, am I worthy to have my attorney's badge again? Because, like, here's the thing. Phoenix getting disbarred. Phoenix getting disbarred was not him doing the evidence forging. That was Christoph Gavin that did that. However, Phoenix has presented forged evidence. Yeah, that's the issue that I have with Phoenix in the sequel trilogy, is that he just reverts back to his original trilogy counterpart without retaining any of the stuff that he, well, I would say without retaining any of the stuff that he learned from Apollo Justice, but nah. Like, I don't know. I know that because of the way that this is set up, it's set up really odd with, like, when Phoenix gets his badge back and all that. Yeah. Well, the events of 4 do still happen, and they are important. The issue is that the events of Ace Attorney 4 do not affect Phoenix specifically.
And so that's the big issue, is that Phoenix is unchanged by the events of Ace Attorney 4. He is just back to being his goofball trilogy self afterward. Apollo is still affected by it, and that's dealt with in this game. Like, Apollo is still affected by the events of Ace Attorney 4, and also some events from this game as well, but we'll get into that later. The defense would like to do some defending first, if that's alright. Must you drag this out with your tomfoolery?
The defense always has the right to cross-examine the witness, you know.
A fellow inmate told me just this morning. You want something signed. All you need is the document and a witness.
Let me guess. They were convicted for contract fraud, right?
All we need in this case is the evidence and a witness to convict. It's as simple as that.
Looks like I guessed right. Sorry, but as Miss Sykes said, the defense has every right to cross-examine. Isn't that correct, Your Honor? Turnabout Time Traveler is just canonically making Nick, like, pulling Nick out of the original trilogy to explain why he got his character development from 4 revoked. But yeah, like, see, I love Phoenix as a character. I feel like if you wanted to make another Phoenix Wright game, what you should do is, because we have this big ass set of time between Trials and Tribulations and the flashback case in Ace Attorney 4 where Phoenix gets disbarred. And so you could set a game in that time period, and if you wanted to revert back to trilogy like Phoenix, that would be the perfect way to do it, is that you just make a midquel game that happens between 3 and 4, and you have, you know, Phoenix going around with Maya and other original trilogy characters, and that's how you do the, oh, you want more original trilogy Phoenix? Have more original trilogy Phoenix. You know what I mean? Yeah. Actually, you want to know what, like, I know that we're well past this at this point. I know that we're well past this point because we're on game 6 and Ace Attorney 4 has been out for a decade. It would be really cool to have Phoenix facing off against Franziska again, because Franziska's whole deal is perfectionism, and it's perfectionism that she still hasn't, like, deprogrammed herself from by the end of Trials and Tribulations, Justice for All. And so it could be a good, like, almost character foil if you give Franziska a bit of development out, like, off screen, because of, you know, the time skip. She's had all that time away where she's grown up. She's not 19 anymore. You bring Franziska back and have her be like, hey, like, this, you know, you've been, oh yeah, I've heard that a lot's happened to you, like, what's been going on, sort of deal. Like, I've heard that you were forging evidence. Like, give Franziska and Phoenix a parallel character arc between, or that mirrors Phoenix and Miles's character arc.
Yes, of course. You may proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. I shall relish the sight of you thrashing around in vain.
I went to Shipshape Aquarium to see the killer whale.
Hold it!
Man, Sam Riegel Phoenix Wright is just like... He does a good job, but it feels weird. Why did you want to see the orca?
Well, it is the featured attraction of the aquarium, after all.
Have them bond over helping each other get better? Yeah. Why waste energy on such tripe? There is but one attraction in Shipshape Aquarium that's worth anyone's time. Yeah, exactly. Like, you have Franziska come back and be like, holy shit, you've changed a lot, Phoenix, and I'm gonna whip you back into shape, literally. There is but one attraction in Shipshape Aquarium that is worth anyone's time. And that is the penguins. Isn't that right, Taka, my friend? Alrighty then, I guess Prosecutor Blackcool's for the birds.
I guess I should jot that down. Note to self, Prosecutor Blackcool is on Team Rifle.
Thank you for the achievement, I guess? So you went to see the orca in its tank.
Yes, that's right.
Bird up.
As I was watching the killer whale from the visitor's corridor, it suddenly went crazy.
Hold it!
How long was I on that talking point? I was on that talking point for like 20 minutes, jeez. The orca suddenly went crazy, did she?
Yes, it took a look at me, and then all at once it started going berserk.
Did you do anything to make her angry?
I did nothing more than simply glare at it from the visitor's corridor.
You glared at Orla? And that's what caused her to go berserk.
Objection!
The reason the defendant went mad is not the issue here. Only what she did once she entered that state.
In any case, the killer whale began behaving wildly in front of my very eyes. And then... I saw the killer whale bite the victim to death with its huge mouth and deadly teeth.
Let me guess. You don't have any bite victims on you.
Objection!
It would seem that you're mistaken, Mr. Plume.
I beg your pardon?
The autopsy report does indeed say death thought to be a result of orca attack. Blunt force trauma, not pierce. Yeah, wrong damage type. But the actual cause of death is contusion. Wow, that's a word I haven't heard in a hot minute. Is contusion from head trauma, not being bitten.
What? But I'm sure the victim was bitten.
I don't believe that can be true. The security footage doesn't show anything of the kind.
Objection!
Just as I suspected. I knew you would peek at the footage behind Fulbright's back. Well, what did you expect when he wouldn't play nice and share? But unfortunately for you,
The killer whale could kill the victim using its gums.
the footage you saw was only one small part. Huh? Yesterday, after I decided to take this case to trial, I re-reviewed all the evidence. Taka, the evidence I gave you for safekeeping. So that hawk is higher up on the pecking order than Fulbright in Blackwell's book. Very well, let's review the footage. What's this? The orca is biting the victim. No way. I have to say, this appears to be very damning evidence.
No, I can't believe Orla really bit him.
And there is more. Look at this. This photograph was taken while the body was being examined. There seems to be a strange bruise on the victim's right wrist. I'll have the crime lab examine the bruise and calculate its relevance to the case at hand. What's important right now is evidence that points to the orca as the killer. Wow. Look at the left side of the body. See the orca's tooth marks in the victim's clothes. Yes, they do appear to suggest that she did in fact bite the victim.
I told you so. And then the killer whale swam up toward the surface with the victim in its mouth.
Objection!
However, in the autopsy report, the cause of death is contusion from head trauma.
Objection!
You are much too impetuous, right, Dono? Granted, the orca biting the victim was not the cause of death. The witness was mistaken about that. And what explanation is there for what the witness saw? Did I not say in the beginning, the orca toyed with the victim mercilessly? My goodness. After killing the victim, defendant swam around with his dead body in her mouth. Just like any other predator toying with its prey.
Mr. Wright, the hearts of the people in the gallery are suddenly filled with fear. Fear of Orla.
So the defendant bit the victim after she had killed him. But if that's the case, then we must still figure out how the defendant killed the victim. Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have a sound theory to give to the court? I wouldn't be standing here if I couldn't prove whether the orca's heart was black or white.
But Orla is black and white. Her body, I mean.
Athena, please try not to provoke Prosecutor Blackwell. This witness also observed the actual moment of the murder. Think back, word mistress. Think back to what you've observed before the orca bit the victim.
Ah, I see what you're driving at. So that was the true moment of the murder, was it?
Now, explain it in a way that even these simpletons can understand.
There you go again, ordering me around. Stop that this instant. But whatever. I don't mind telling my story. I saw the killer whale before it toyed with the body as well. I saw it the moment it killed the victim by headbutting him.
Orla killed the victim by headbutting him?
That's right. It rammed the victim over and over again.
Recall that the autopsy report stated stated that there were bruises all over the body. Recall as well how persistent the defendant can be when she's attacking her prey.
And we all just saw the killer whale headbutting the victim in the footage, don't forget.
Footage backs up Mr. Plume's testimony.
Phoenix, what the fuck? Also, why was my voice weird there?
Yeah, Blackwell is a weeb. That's his character trait. He's actually a really cool character. We just haven't got much information about Blackwell yet, especially because we did case 1 and 2, and then this is the DLC case.
But there's also something very important that it does not show.
Now do you see what a menace this killer whale is?
Objection!
Chip Zanoof Guilty Gear. I need to get back into Guilty Gear. I haven't played in a long time. I'm sorry, but I can't allow your testimony to stand unchallenged. Looking at this footage, the orca certainly seems to be headbutting something. But you'll note that the something is not the victim.
Oh!
Cool. Want to look away, but I can't. Even if it was the victim, you couldn't have seen him from where you were, could you?
What? Oh, well, I suppose not.
Mr. Plume, did you actually witness the victim getting headbutted by the defendant?
Let's see. Oh, I remember now. As I recall, a rock in the shape of a skull was obstructing my view.
So are you admitting that you couldn't see the victim?
Yes, I suppose I am. However, immediately after the headbutting, the victim came floating up. He came up from behind the skull-shaped rock, and his body was all limp. What else could I think except that the killer whale was headbutting the victim?
Objection!
But if you didn't actually see the moment of the attack itself, then it's pure conjecture.
Objection!
Must I do everything around here?
How dare you speak so rudely to me?
There's no need for hysterics. Clear your mind and recall how you reached your conclusion. Though you couldn't see what the orca was attacking, you didn't need to, did you? Because you knew she was behaving exactly as she had, only 1 year prior.
Oh,
1 year ago?
that's right. Yes, that's it. That's how I knew the killer whale was headbutting the victim.
I'm sorry, but could someone explain exactly what happened a year ago? If you must know, a very similar incident occurred only last year, in which the defendant murdered her trainer. What? The orca murdered her trainer, you say? What? Is this really true? This is not looking good for us. It's all in this book. That book, The Killer Whale. That's Mr. Plume's latest work. I was just thinking of picking that up. Yeah, this isn't biased at all. Thank you for the stretch banana. Last year, the defendant killed her trainer in the middle of a show. The orca headbutted and bit the victim. The same thing she's accused of in this case.
That orca killed 2 people?
Thing's a menace, I say. Guilty. Never want to go to the beach again.
No. Now everyone's even more convinced that Orla did it.
You're doing so well, but now everyone in the room has a bad impression of Orla. I don't want to think she did it. It's hard to keep on believing in somebody who can't even tell me her side.
Phoenix, Athena, you've gotta believe in Orla. There's no way she killed anybody. You gotta save her, please, I'm begging you.
Sasha, what am I doing doubting my client like this? This is the time to be strong.
I believe in Orla, and I'm ready to fight for our clients. I'll I'll take everybody in this courtroom on if I have to.
Don't you worry, Sasha. We won't give up on Orla. We'll defend her to the very end.
Thank you. Thank you, both of you.
We are Orla's lawyers. Who else but us can save her? We can't give up on her now. Huh. For an instant there, you were afraid of the Orca, weren't you, right, Dono? When you saw the photograph of the victim from a year ago, you turned paler than me. He saw right through me. It's obvious you have neither the guts nor the determination to defend the Orca. It's true that Orla can't speak, and I don't know her thoughts. But there is a certain someone who believes in Orla with all her heart. I respect the trust that she has in Orla, so I'm willing to believe in Orla too. Huh. And what do you know about orcas? Nothing, that's what. So, allow me to fill you in. Do you have any idea why orcas are also called killer whales? Because they're cunning and merciless predators that hunt and kill even true whales. So killer whales really are killers. What terrifying creatures indeed. I can't bear to hear any more of such rubbish as trusting a killer. Can you, your baldness? No matter what you say, I will continue to believe. I don't give up that easily, you know? Dillard, you don't know when to give up, do you? Absolutely the fuck not, Simon. I've never known how to give up. I've cross-examined a parrot once before. Judge, you can attest to that. Very well. Whoops. Are you trying to impersonate me, Mr. Blackwell? You are not allowed to give judgment. Only I can give judgment. Very well. I shall give you a chance to prove just how determined you are. Witness, spare no quarter and lay the full truth on them.
But of course, that's what I do after all.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about? But is Blackwell always this fucking annoying? Absolutely, but he's great and we love him. Prosecutor Blackwell, what will you have the witness testify about? I shall have her testify about what she saw and what she heard. What she heard? Very well, Mr. Bloom, please tell the court what you saw and what you heard. Would you believe me if I told you that by the end of this game, Blackwell actually kind of has a pseudo character arc? And it's actually genuinely, like, really good. It's not a very extensive character arc, but it is... It's the start of an arc, I should say. And it's great.
The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it start to headbutt. But when the pirate hat and the victim came floating up, I let out a scream.
Orca displayed the same behavior as during the incident a year ago.
That's right. Those weren't just simple cries, it was singing. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. It kept headbutting while it sang the Swashbuckler Spectacular song. That's right. It was singing the same song it sang in the aquarium stage show back then. It was singing while it was headbutting. Oh, it was perfectly horrible.
I don't see I don't see a single obvious inconsistency in this testimony. It's clear I won't be able to take apart her statements with evidence alone.
Mr. Wright, now would be a good time for me to put my skills to work. It's time to show what analytical psychology can really do.
You seem pretty confident. Let me guess. You noticed a contradiction between the testimony and her emotions? Also, Sachi, you missed it. Pearl's back.
You bet I did. And once we expose it, we might just be able to crack her. No, scratch that. Make it, we'll definitely be able to.
Let's give your knowledge of analytical psychology a try.
You got it, boss. A complete analysis of Mr. Plume's heart, coming right up. The killer whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, the killer whale suddenly started singing. I was calm when I saw it start to headbutt.
I was calm, said the person, surprised and scared. I'm gonna make a confidence save because I'm very confident. She's saying that she's calm, and that's what's throwing me off.
Got it.
Mr. Plume, Orla really frightened you with her headbutting, didn't she?
Don't be absurd. I certainly was not frightened by the likes of any killer whale. It must have been something else that scared her then, boss. However, I do remember being very afraid for some reason while it was doing that. It sounds like maybe you saw something we haven't discussed yet. Take your time and try to remember what it was. What did you see?
This is practically turning into counseling, or into a counseling session.
I saw something. Oh, I remember now. Okay, good. Now if you could please tell the court what you saw.
See, I really like the Mood Matrix. I know that a lot of people don't like the Mood Matrix, but, genuinely, I feel like the Mood Matrix would be better if they did it like Apollo's bracelet in the last, case, where you can use it anywhere. And so it's like, okay, you've got the Mood Matrix that's like pinging different emotions, and you can use that as like, you just have the Mood Matrix as it is, but you make it like a toggleable thing over the over like the normal cross-examination. You know what I mean?
I saw bright red blood. The killer whale's ramming caused the victim to bleed. There was a great cloud of blood.
What? See, I think the issue that a lot of people take with the Mood Matrix is that, sometimes it can be really unclear as to what you're supposed to be pointing out. But
Yes, that's it. That's why I was so sure. That's when I knew that killer whale had killed a person for the second time.
well, that was a very compelling statement indeed. Looking at this again, there does appear to be something that could be a cloud of blood. So her terror was a reaction to blood, was it? Completely random thing. If y'all want to hear a really cursed Phoenix Wright voice clip,
Y'all should take a look at some of the cross-examinations from, Professor Layton v. Wright, because, there's this really stupid-ass Phoenix voice clip where one of the mechanics that they have is, think kind of like the jury, almost, from... Actually, no. Great Ace Attorney actually brought this mechanic back basically wholesale. The whole, thing where you're cross-examining multiple people at once and you can, like, look back and forth between the people on the stand. They did that for Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. And, when you call somebody out, Phoenix has this stupid-ass voice line where he just goes, "Hang on!" And it's so dumb, and I love it so much. That would certainly explain what happened yesterday. Please, take a look at this blood-stained coin.
Cease and desist at once. What kind of a man shows a lady blood?
Doesn't have to get so worked up.
I was badly injured during an interview once. Ever since then, I've been terrified of blood. The very sight of it dreadfully upsets my delicate sensibilities.
This is a bad turn. If Mr. Plume saw blood, then does that mean Orla really did attack the victim? It would appear that orcas are even more vicious than I am. So, how does it feel to be thoroughly rammed by your own cross-examination, right, Dono? The only person that's allowed to ram me, Blackhole, is Edgeworth.
What do we do now, boss?
The testimony was not at all what I expected to hear.
Wait a minute. There's still some discord left in Mr. Plume's heart.
What? You mean there's more?
Yes, but there's no telling what it is. It could be something even more damaging.
Ugh. Is there even anything left of our case to damage? Well, whatever it is, we have to face it head on. Athena, you believe in Orla, right? If so, there's no reason for any of us to for us to shy away from the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
I know we can handle the truth, whatever it is. So let's delve a little deeper.
You've got it, boss.
Black Quill, please. The only thing violent about you is your military-grade cringe. He is a convicted murderer. Or I guess criminal, but he's a convicted criminal. I guess not. Actually, no, he is a convicted killer. We have established that already. He has, as far as the court is concerned, killed somebody. Killer Whale's behavior was exactly the same as a year ago. As I approached the pool, Killer Whale suddenly started singing. After it started headbutting, I saw that awful blood and was terrified. A pirate hat and the victim came floating up. I let out a scream. I think some people also just don't like the sounds that the emotion markers make.
Got it.
Huh? Her fear appears to lessen here at this statement. Mr. Plume, weren't you afraid when you saw the victim with blood coming out of him?
My, that's a very good question. I was shaken after witnessing a murder, yes. But then, the blood seemed to disappear.
Disappear? Why do you suppose that was?
It's simple. It was because of the pirate hat. After the killer whale put the hat on, the cloud of blood disappeared.
Objection!
How exactly does that work?
How should I know? I'm just telling you what I remember, Blue Boy.
Wait a minute. From whom was this blood that Mr. Plume saw actually coming from? I watched a video on Final Fantasy IX speedrunning earlier today. This man's chin reminds me of Steiner from Final Fantasy IX.
Take that!
Consider this. Maybe the one who was bleeding wasn't the victim.
I beg your pardon. What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? There was no one else in the pool beside the victim.
Oh, I wouldn't say there was no one else. It is an orca pool after all. What? Then where is this alleged injury on the defendant? I'm not sure, but if simply wearing the pirate hat made the blood disappear, then the blood must have been coming from somewhere on Orla's head.
What?
The orca's head. What are you prattling on about now?
Please think about it again, Mr. Plume. Think back to what you really saw. That is... the one who was bleeding was not the victim, but the killer whale. I remember now. There wasn't any blood coming from the victim at all. After all. We did it! Analytical psychology got us what we needed from her.
That was a huge help, Athena. It's also pretty dicey for a while, though. Well, this is a surprise. Why is your thing a whole Marilyn Monroe thing? I have no idea. The blood the witness saw was the defendant, not the victims. That is correct. And since there was no blood coming from the victim, there's only one thing we can conclude. That what Mr. Plume witnessed was not the moment of the murder as she claims.
Objection!
I thought you were unarmed, but it turns out you were concealing a sword all along. Nevertheless, it's far too dull to cut to the bone. Meaning? I grant that what the witness saw was not the victim's blood, but it proves nothing. After all, being rammed doesn't always result in a wound that bleeds, does it? Death from internal hemorrhaging is also a possibility. He has a point there. You wish to challenge me to a duel, you'll need a sharper blade than that, right, Dono? I demand evidence that proves the witness did not see the moment of the murder. Must be something. Think, Phoenix. If I'm correct, then the victim's death occurred before De Plume saw it. My sword is reserved for Edgeworth and Edgeworth only, Blackquill. If the victim was already dead when Orla started her headbutting, that would mean he died sometime before Mr. Plume was watching her. The events Mr. Plume witnessed took place at around 10:10 a.m. I must have something that can tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m. It's the calendar.
Take that!
This is the evidence that proves Mr. Plume did not see the moment of the murder. What?
Huh? I'm not sure that's really related to what Mr. Plume did or didn't witness.
But you're not sure, right? No. We can be quite sure that it's unrelated. Yes, quite. Ouch. I guess we can be. But I hate that should count. Oh, cool. We can watch the whole thing again. Oh, no. It doesn't have fast forward like the one from Rise from the Ashes does.
Captain Morla, you made it just in time.
We're not gonna listen to the song again. Okay, so... what else could it be? Why do we still have the fish? I must have something that can tell us about what happened before 10:10 a.m. Why is it not this? Maybe?
Take that!
No. Is it the swashbuckler video? Maybe? It's the only thing that really comes to mind.
Take that!
No? Um... Did I already send the swashbuckler flyer? What do the photos look like? It's just his body and his body. Did we send the swashbuckler flyer before?
Take that!
Yeah, we did. If it's the camera, I'm gonna be frustrated because the timestamp on the first picture is 10:09, and that is technically speaking slightly before.
Take that!
Only seen the footage from 10:09 to 10:10 a.m. Which means there's still footage going further back that we need to check. Okay. I understand what that was supposed to, like, why it was supposed to be that. It's supposed to be, like, the existence of this footage implies previous footage, but, like, they should have made something there being like, hey, this is only a segment of the video, not... Your Honor, I request that all of the security footage be played for the court. All of the footage? Mr. Plume witnessed the cloud of blood at around 10:10 a.m. But I believe the victim was already dead by that time. So your assertion is that the murder took place before Mr. Plume arrived? Well... Exactly. The security camera footage starts at 10 a.m. when the aquarium opened. And I believe that there's vital evidence in the 10 minutes before. Oh, okay. Actually, no, this was just a misunderstanding on my part. The camera does say footage starts at the aquarium's 10 a.m. opening. I misread that. Okay. I actually don't have an issue with that. That was my own stupidity there. Huh. You're quite the gambling man, right, Donna? Are you honestly willing to risk everything on those mere 10 minutes? I've bet on slimmer chances before, but when he puts it that way...
My boss is no coward, Prosecutor Blackquill, so I suggest you get ready to eat humble pie.
Uh-oh, can't back down now. Well, if the defense is that confident in its importance, Prosecutor Blackquill, the security footage. Fulbright. Roger! I have the rest of the security footage right here. Very well, please play it for the court. Please have something for me. This is what it looked like this is what it looked like at 10:10 a.m. The witness can be seen here. Motherfucker, you cross-examined a parrot, yeah. Alright, I'll just back up the footage to the beginning now. Appears Mr. Plume hasn't arrived yet at this point. I gotta see if I can find something from before this point in time. Is that it? Yup, that's all the footage there is. Well, Mr. Wright, do you see what you were looking for?
Well, we got nothing.
Well, right, Donna. Those were the 10 minutes you placed your bet on. Did you see anything of significance? Did I see anything important? I'd better think about this carefully. In the footage we see, nothing important because nothing is actually the important part. Nothing important. We can see nothing of importance in that footage. Just as I thought. Ha ha ha! You're right about that. That selection was completely meaningless. It doesn't show a thing. That's why I didn't submit it as evidence.
Objection!
That's exactly. How did he get into the tank? No, it's just the opposite. Huh? What do you mean by that? Stort. In this 10 minutes of footage, something important should be here that isn't here. Detective Fulbright, this footage should have been submitted as evidence. What?
Are you questioning the way I carry out my duty to justice? Mr. Wright, explain yourself, please. What is this important thing you say should be in the footage, but isn't? A body?
Take that!
The important thing we should see in the footage is the victim himself, Jack Shipley. I don't know about you, but I didn't see him get in the pool in the footage.
Oh. Ugh, that's right.
If the victim is not shown entering the pool in this footage, it means that he must have been there by the Skull Rock during those 10 minutes. But no human being can hold their breath underwater for that long.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you saying?
When the security camera started up at 10 a.m., the victim was already dead.
What?
I love Fulbright, he's great. He's such a goober.
Order in the court. If that's the case, then when was the victim murdered?
I don't know, Your Honor. But we now know it had to have been sometime before 10 a.m. Therefore, this footage can no longer be called decisive evidence against my client.
But there's no one else who could have killed the victim.
Not necessarily. The defense believes that the true culprit may have been human. And we have evidence to back up our theory as well.
Do you now? I would be very interested in seeing this evidence.
The defense's trump card, that thing we found during our investigation yesterday. It wouldn't go so far as to call it decisive, but now's the time to play it.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please submit your evidence.
The fish!
What evidence shows that the crime may have been committed by a human?
Your Honor, did you know I am a lawyer? I just got my badge back and I really wanted to show you.
Take that!
What's this? A coin.
Yes, a fake coin used in the aquarium's pirate show. We found it beside the pool. This coin is quite possibly the real murder weapon.
This tiny little coin is the murder weapon. Mr. Wright, if this is another one of your bluffs. As they say, the bolder the presentation, the less confident the solicitor.
Man, I love Blackwell so much. He's so cool. This is no bluff, and it isn't the only coin. There are 300 of these coins in all, weighing a total of about 7 pounds. This one just happens to have blood on it.
Did you have the blood analyzed to see who it was, or whose it was?
Not yet. But there were coins scattered all around the body, and the victim had a head wound. Taking these things into account, I believe it has to be the victim's blood. So to put it together, we have about 7 pounds of coins by the side of the pool. One of them with a blood stain on it. I think the answer is pretty clear here. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the victim was killed beside the pool.
Side of the pool. But if the murder took place there, it'd be difficult to say the orca did it.
I realize you're trying to defend your client, but that theory is preposterous. How could 300 coins possibly be made to hit someone all at once?
It'd be pretty easy if they were in a bag or something of that nature.
And so, where's the bag the coins were in?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, we recovered nothing of the sort from the scene. It's possible the culprit took it with them.
They took it?
You know, 300 plastic coins isn't really all that much for, like, a whole treasure chest. As the thing, like the skull treasure chest, which is also what Orla banged her head on. He definitely, like, got killed. He definitely got killed and then stuffed inside the skull rock. And that's how it, like, kept him under the water. Like, I think what happened is, like,
Okay. I am 100% spitballing here. I think what happened is that, essentially, because this clearly happened before the aquarium opened. I think what's happening here is that they might have had someone, again, spitballing, they might have had someone, like, they might have had the tank drained, and they were cleaning the inside of the tank, because, you know, you need to clean fish tanks. So maybe they had the inside of the tank empty, and like, you know, they killed him and stuffed him in the rock and then filled the pool. And when Orla noticed his body in the rock, she headbutted it to get it open and then tried to carry him up and toss him out of the top of the pool. That's my angle that I'm coming at this from. That's my theory. The true culprit used the coins as a blunt instrument to commit murder. They then threw the body into the pool before the security cameras started up. And then they left, taking the bag the coins were in with them. They got rid of the evidence that points to a human culprit to pin the blame on Orla.
That was brilliant, Mr. Wright. You found a way to introduce the possibility of a human perpetrator.
Yeah, somehow. Let's hope my luck holds out. I wonder why Prosecutor Blackquill hasn't said anything. Possibility of a perpetrator other than the defendant has now been suggested. What if we hold this possibility to be true? And what did Mr. Plume witness?
That's right. I saw the killer whale attack the victim. Just like I did a year ago, singing a song. I guess there still is that. Even with somebody else as the culprit, Orla's behavior still seems pretty bizarre. I wonder why she was doing the same thing she did a year ago.
But is it really that bizarre?
What do you mean?
To explain the inexplicable, all we have to do is turn our thinking around.
Turn our thinking around, huh? Sounds good to me.
Time to give the old turn my thinking around method a try. Instead of trying to figure out why Orla did the same things she did a year ago, I should consider the results that were produced by her behavior this time around. Orla sang a song and did some headbutts and bit the victim. If the real culprit wanted to shift the suspicion onto Orla, then they would have needed to give people a reason to think Orla did it in the first place. Mr. Wright, as her lawyer, how do you explain your client's actions? Oh! Okay. I have... Building on the theory, Orla sings as part of her act in the show. So, and it's triggered, like, they cue to her with the whistle. And so it's possible that someone used the whistle to make Orla go, oh, you know, let's get in with the act. And that's what the singing and stuff was there. Especially because Sasha said that the whistle could be heard even through water. Whistle for issuing instructions to Orla. Anyone can use one to command her as long as they know the right signals. Mr. Wright, as her lawyer, how do you explain your client's actions? I believe we should think of it in this way, Your Honor. What kind of effect did Orla's actions have on the case? Very well. Then why don't you explain it for the court? How did the defendant's actions affect the case? They killed the victim. They created a witness. Mr. Plume focused her attention on the orca pool because she heard the song.
The orca's act of singing a song created a witness.
Created a witness.
Isn't it possible that fabricating a witness was the real culprit's true intention? After all, Miss Plume witnessed two things. She saw Orla headbutt something over and over, and she saw the orca bite the victim. Those two actions of Orla's might have been the real culprit's plot to make the witness think the orca was attacking the victim.
Are you saying the defendant was being manipulated by the true perpetrator?
Exactly. And that would explain Orla's actions perfectly.
The defendant is an orca. Is it even possible to manipulate her?
Yes, there is a way to manipulate Orla's behavior. With this.
Take that!
Is this a whistle?
Yes, Your Honor. Trainers at the aquarium use whistles to issue commands to Orla. Wow, that sentence came out really odd. But in truth, anyone can do it, provided they know the right signals.
Ah, that must be how they get Orla to do tricks for their pirate shows.
The true culprit hid the body in a spot that couldn't be seen from the visitor's corridor. Then, when Mr. Plume appeared, they gave Orla the commands. In other words, Orla was manipulated by the culprit to perform a series of tricks.
What?
And, as for you, Mr. Plume, you were manipulated by the true culprit to play the part of the witness.
Norman de Plume, was set up. Norman de Plume, writer extraordinaire, was used. No. No.
Cool. Get out of here, please.
Mr. Plume, please do something about your attire.
Ugh. That was one wardrobe malfunction I did not want to see.
It would appear that we need to shift our suspicion towards someone other than Orla. Prosecutor Blackwell, please have the bloodstained coin analyzed.
You waste your breath. I guess even Prosecutor Blackwell can't refute the possibility of a human suspect.
You did it, boss. If the crime happened beside the pool, there's no way an orca could have done it.
You see, I think, man, I am in like hyper analyzing mode. It's the angle that we're going with this is definitely going to be the judge, or not the judge. Wow. The prosecution is definitely going to say that Orla spiked one of the volleyballs at him, and that's what caused his head injury. Right? Like that's what we're going off of. Love the simplistic mind of the judge, which almost always works out in Phoenix's favor. Yeah. Hey Mags, how are you doing? Now, if only we could find the bag the coins were in.
In light of the new discovery, it would appear the orca couldn't have done it.
Exactly, Your Honor. If the blood on the coin proves to be that of the victim, we can unequivocally turn or overturn Orla's accusation.
Objection!
Overturn the defendant's accusation. I think not. See, it cut the hair bit off. Pulled an all-nighter. I'm doing pretty good. The judge may be omnipotent, but he's still human after all. My hair! My beautiful hair! Yesterday, a new inmate was brought into the prison. He said, the moment you relax is when you're most vulnerable.
And what did this man go in for?
He is merely a sneaky thief who enjoys a spot of fishing now and then.
But right dono here would be easier to hook than any fish. And Hawk sure does love the judge's head. What's this? A coin from before, and some sort of bag? A bag? I don't think I'm gonna like this. This is the coin bag the 300 coins were in. I believe you were looking for this. How did you get that? I never said we didn't find it at the crime scene. The bag had blood on it, so naturally I had it sent to the crime lab. And? Does the blood belong to the victim? It does indeed. As does the blood on the coin. I knew it. So the blood on the coin did belong to the victim. The bag was open and the coins had all spilled out. But the bag alone wasn't proof enough to say that it was used as the murder weapon. However, thanks to the defense and their coin, I'm more than satisfied that it was. Prosecutor Blackwell, are you conceding that the true culprit committed the murder with the bag of coins? I shall concede that the victim was put into the pool after his death. However, even with the bag, it doesn't change the fact that it was the orca that killed the victim. What? How can you still suspect Orla? You said the true culprit manipulated Orla's behavior. But Orla isn't the kind of orca that would let someone control her. Blackwell, please. If anything, the Orla used the victim's behavior against him to murder him. What? But are you arguing that the orca manipulated a human being? To prove it, he's a confusing specimen, yeah? To prove it, I've summoned another witness. Marlon Rhymes, fuck. Take the stand.
Marlon Rhymes is a witness? I'm not reading out your raps, buddy, especially if you auto-scroll your text.
Well, don't just stand there. State your name.
Told you I didn't want to be a witness.
I thought one witness would be quite enough to prove the defendant's guilt. But apparently Right Dono won't be satisfied until every stone is turned.
Well, son of a... Alright, fine. If I gotta talk, let's get this over with.
Mr. Rhymes doesn't seem like a willing witness.
What tipped you off, Athena? I wonder what Prosecutor Blackwell is going to have him testify about.
So could we have your name and occupation for the record, witness?
No. He's auto-scrolling the text again. I hate this man. I hate this man so fucking much. Send him to jail. Let's see. People of Dela, time to testify. Chilling with my crew at the ship shape. Orcas, penguins, and seascape. It's so bad. Oh my god. Why is Phoenix an attorney but also a detective? It's just how attorneys are in this world. Is that they have to do their own legwork because the actual detectives never share with them. And so they do their own legwork, but they're also like generally permitted to be around the crime scene. They just they function as both for the defense's side, if that makes sense. It's really stupid, but it's also kind of there to hammer home. Then what's the point of Gumshoe? He leaks information to Phoenix when he's in the game. That's what the detectives do 9 times out of 10, is that they're there to hand pieces of evidence to you. Gumshoe is there to get his salary cut. Yeah. 100% of Gumshoe's salary getting cut. Man, I can't wait until we get to see Gumshoe again when the Edgeworth games come out later this year. Let's see. Cleaning and feeding there ain't no end, but Tim Brady Kid's tours I shall transcend. Noob Animal Keeper from the House of Rhymes. I'm the Master Keeper, Marlon with the rhymes. I hate you so much, Marlon Rhymes. Oh my, I'm afraid I couldn't understand a word you said. That flip-flop music you people nowadays like? So close, Your Honor. So close, and yet so far. Please proceed with your testimony, witness. Without the flip-flop. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, like, the, flip-flop music is now how you'll refer to rap. I trust that you will. That sounds like a very, like, out of left field thing that you'd drop in a VC with our group of friends. Please proceed with your testimony, witness, without the flip-flop. Okay, fine. But I don't want to do this, I tell you. I feel like I'm selling Sasha out. Actually, no. The format of it would be one of our friends would say something about hip hop, and you would be like, hip hop, more like flip flop. That would be very in character for you. That damn flip flop. At about 10:10 a.m., I was in the staff room. I heard a loud noise from the pool room, so I went to the door to look in. I didn't see the captain of the Orca, but I saw a bunch of coins scattered around. Now you just gotta wait for someone to mention hip-hop. The Orca knows there's a certain spot people stand to play volleyball with her. I think maybe she knocked down the stuff that was piled up there and hit the captain. So that gives us a little more info about the area around the Orca pool. The defendant made the stuff fall down. Overturned crates and assorted props were scattered all over the pool room floor. There's no doubt that it was the Orca that caused that mess. But could she really have done that from within the pool? As I said, the Orca is the only one that could have performed such a feat. The pool and its room were tidied the night before, including its various odds and ends. But when our rhyming Marlin took a look-see, over 400 pounds of props had fallen. To the hippity to hoppity. To move it all in one go would challenge even the brawny prisoner in the cell next to mine. What is he? The jail gossip? Yeah. So, how did 400 pounds of items fall all at once? I'll tell you how. The Orca pulled the cloth that was underneath them. A weight that would be all but impossible for a human to move. Was child's play to an Orca. During a friendly game of volleyball, the defendant made the crates fall. And the bag of coins that was among the items fell on the victim's head and killed him.
The Orca then toyed with the victim's body underwater, which is what Miss DePlume saw.
Objection!
I wonder if, like, setting up a curtain off to the right of me would be a good way to, kind of soundproof my room. Get, like, something heavy. So what's the stakes in this case? Does the Orca go to jail? No, the Orca is at risk of being put down. Though Orca jail is also funny. But the witness only said he heard a loud noise. That doesn't automatically make it the sound of Orla making the items fall. Also, why did you only look in on the pool room anyway, Mr. Rhymes? That Orca sometimes makes loud noises to summon her trainer. But I'm still a newbie, so I don't have a security card to get into the pool room yet. So even if she tries to summon somebody, there isn't much I can do about it. I see. Witness couldn't enter the crime scene.
Objection!
Yeah, it's really weird because the Ace Attorney games have a tendency, like, to just randomly sprinkle in one bit that just suddenly takes the tone darker. If Mr. Rhymes couldn't enter the room, there's at least one thing he can't be sure about. His statement that the Orca was playing volleyball is purely speculation.
Silence.
Did that have crunch to it? Whether the Orca was actually playing volleyball or not is not the issue. Traces of the Orca's saliva were found on the cloth that was underneath the crates. But yeah, did y'all hear that weird, like, audio compression bit on him saying silence? Or was that my TV speaker shitting the bed? Oh, wait, whoops. Traces of the Orca's saliva were found on the cloth that was underneath the crates. The important point is that the Orca is the only one who could have moved the items. I have to discredit that statement somehow. If I don't, it'll mean that Orla was the culprit, even if the victim died beside the pool. Wait, I think the game might be doing the same thing it did when we played through Apollo Justice, where, the sound effects and the music start slowly bugging out because the game has a weird fucked up memory leak or some shit. Why does the Orca have a hat? Because it's part of a, like, pirate show at the aquarium. But, it could be like what happened with Apollo Justice, where because I let the, because I don't, between these little secret, between these streams, I put my Switch in sleep mode because I don't like powering it on and off every time, and I also play other games sometimes, but, I put my Switch in sleep mode, and I don't close the game unless I'm actively playing something else. So, this play session of Ace Attorney has been running for almost a week at this point in sleep mode. This is the same, like, it's the same behavior as what caused the, actually, I don't really play many other games in my free time, and let alone on my Switch. I haven't touched my own Switch in a hot minute. Most of the games that I play in my free time is I play mostly Final Fantasy XIV in my free time, but I also just haven't been playing games off stream recently. I've been doing art. And coding. I was working on my Game Jam game, and then that never actually materialized, but I will be entering the next one. But, I should actually... be done. I ran a bit extra. I gave a bit of extra time because I started really late tonight. What was I gonna say?
So, I want to put a, alternating game in with this. Either that or start a really short playthrough. Like, maybe I'll do, like, Metroid Fusion or something. But, if I don't end up doing that, I will probably... Or if I don't end up wanting to do that, I'll put a poll in the Discord. So that y'all can vote between a handful of games. I'm thinking Pokemon X would be fun to do as an alternating stream, just because Pokemon is always fun to stream. Part of me wants to throw Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn on there because I've been promising Radiant Dawn forever. I've been promising Radiant Dawn since before we played like Ape. Maybe. I think part of the reason why I'm starting to get burnt out on Ace Attorney is that I'm starting to hit that like I want to play a game with gameplay that isn't like logic based. I want to play like I know that like disregard RPGs in that. Like I kind of want to play RPGs, but they're different. But yeah, I think that's the reason why I'm starting to hit a bit of a wall with Ace Attorney, is that like as much as I love playing this game, I feel like I went from, I think genuinely it might have been, well, okay, I did Ocarina of Time randomizers, but in terms of actual series, I'm pretty sure I went back to back from Valhalla to this. In terms of full series, yeah, because I did a whole bunch. I'm checking my YouTube right off the side here. I did let's see, 7 parts of Ocarina of Time if you count the one from the birthday stream, 1 part of Wind Waker. Actually, I did the birthday stream after I started Dual Destinies. Yeah, and I've done a bit of Minecraft, so it's been a bit since I've played like a turn-based RPG or an action game. So I might do that. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I should be back with more of this or randomizer tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling. Otherwise, give me a moment and I will find someone for us to raid. Okay, let's see who there is to raid. Let's hit Liz with a raid. Liz is actually streaming for once. It's a miracle. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope to see you here tomorrow for whatever I end up streaming tomorrow. Other than that, have a good one and take care.